Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Anybody? I have Kendrick in here first.
That's fine.
Okay.
Who is that?
Kendrick.
Well, that's, second one. Yeah, I don't care.
And what do you have after Kendrick?
No one yet. Is there anybody specific that you are looking for?
Yeah, we could go back in order and just, you could have Greene down next, and then Lynch, and then Pedraza.
All right, hold on one second. All right, you want Lynch second?
No, ma'am, Greene, if possible. And then we can go with Lynch after, and then we could go with the last one after.
Okay, so who do you want again?
We're gonna go with Greene next.
Okay, Greene is on his way up.
Okay, and then after Greene, then we'll do Lynch.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll go with Pedraza, if that's how we pronounce your name.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
no problem, thanks.
Obviously, they don't have a list.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Sir, have a seat. We're gonna go with you first.
All right.
All right?
For sure. For sure.
You did.
All right. So I'm
Can you hear us? We can't hear you.
Hold on. Now you can. Talk now.
Okay,
Yes.
hold up, thank you.
I can
All
hear
right,
you now.
stand by for us, okay?
Yep.
Sir Chair?
welcome back to You Have a Collect Call From. I'm adjusting these the screen here. And this is also for today. It was running at the same time as the other one, so I can only do 2 streams right now, and I got the Utah one. Damn, there's 55 people on the Utah one. What the what? Damn, that's bananas. TMB, this one live too. No, this was from earlier on, so it's about maybe this one ended maybe about an hour or
My
2
name
ago.
is Parole Officer Smelly. Today's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Parole. The following board members are present this morning and by state your names on the record certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, Mike Polk.
Good morning, Joy Chance.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record, sir.
James Kendrick, 230734.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for James Kendrick, 230734. He is serving a sentence of 20 years execution suspended after 16 years with 15 years of probation to follow for illegal sexual contact with the victim under the age of 16. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of January 1st, 2025 at 50%. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and showed the offender as completed Voices short track sex offender program, and he's a tierman on the unit, utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system. The offender overall score on the RT falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender overall score for sexual offense recidivism fall within the moderate to high range. Mr. Kendrick, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
Well, as she said, everything she said in the she just submitted, just said it's true. I have been down for a while. Since I've been down, I also have other certificates that I don't know why that it's not in there. I did complete the fatherhood program, initiative program, 2 groups of fatherhood initiative program. I did complete a certificate of the Alpha program introduction a foundation principle Christian living program, and I did those. I have been working my same job for over 2 years now. I have been staying out of trouble, ticket free for a while. I probably accumulated maybe 6 tickets through my whole incarceration. I do understand the situation of my actions. I do understand that I did go to trial. I was found now guilty of the most severe cases of my charge. That doesn't justify the situation. I do understand the acts of it. A lot of it is hard to embrace and take in, but I do have loved ones and I have job opportunities when I get home. My mother passed away. She did leave me and my brother little financials when we come home. I'm not financially issued. I do have family support. I've been a model inmate that's been incarcerated. I do a lot of outreach programs to inmates in here, just trying to keep us all together. Basically, I know a lot of this stuff is stuff y'all hear every day. Honestly, I just feel like I did all the stuff I needed to do. And, hopefully that I just have an opportunity to be able to see my family, just be able to start my life over again.
Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. You've been here before, but not in a while.
Correct.
So what's going to happen is that we read your background, what happened in this offense, and we read about your incarceration, your interview with the parole officer. Based upon that, we have some questions for you. Then we're going to talk about your case, and we're going to give you a decision. Okay? And we're going to start questions this morning with Board Member Chance.
So, Mr. Kendrick, you were asked to say why you are suitable to go out today. And I heard you talk about the programs such as the fatherhood, the alpha, your job opportunities, your mother dying, the outreach that you're doing. But most importantly, I did not hear you express any remorse for the victim. And by the way, you did mention that your case went to trial. It was for 2 counts of sex assault first. You were found not guilty of those charges, but you were found guilty of illegal sexual contact with victim under the age of 16 years old. Okay? You took Voices and the short-term sex offender program, which I would like to hear some feedback from those 2 programs since they are so relevant to the offense that you committed.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll start off with the Voices program. The Voices program, I think that what I enjoy about the Voices program, it basically covers not just the offense of the act of any of my case. It also covers anger management. It covers drug recovery. It covers family value. It covers a whole lot of things that don't just deal with the that I did with my short track. The short track program, I think I got a lot of that program. I mean, just the understanding of a control factor or learning how to just being more patient and understanding the things and not feeling like things have to be your way. Understanding that I understand. I get it. I guess that's my word. I'm kind of nervous, but I get the situation at hand. And the reason why I kind of like didn't, I definitely have remorse. Let's just put that out there. I do, because it's a family member. So I have greatly remorse for this. I guess the hard part of this all was that, I did, like I said, I went to trial, and it was just kind of hard for me dealing with that, you know what I mean? And being in the program gave me an open understanding to my circumstances and my situation, you know what I mean? I know the effect that it got for not just my family, the victim itself. I understand the effect of the long-term trauma. I understand the effect that the trauma I have to deal with, the trauma the victim have to deal with. I understand that the trauma the victim family have to deal with. I understand that this is a situation that not only hurt the victim family, the victim itself and her family, and continue on. I know that returning back to society and the victim seeing me has to be maybe, I don't know her input on the situation. I just feel like she probably maybe don't care. I don't know, but I do in a way because the person is connected to me, and it does bother me every single day to know that what I'm here for, what my situation is here for, and the things that I even put myself involved with. So I do understand that very well.
So what are you acknowledging today, Mr. Kendrick?
I'm acknowledging that I understand that the act of the things that I put myself involved with dealing with this circumstance is.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you there. What things did you put yourself involved in? Because what I'm referring to is the offense that you're serving time for.
Correct.
What are you acknowledging about that offense?
To be honest, there's no need even. I notice you notice I'm going around the bush, and I'm assuming that's why you asked me that. I have to be honest. It's hard. It's hard for me to just go, and maybe it might affect me getting parole, but it's hard for me to just say I did these things. It's hard, and it's hard because, again, like I said, the offended person is related to me, and I went to trial because I feel like I was innocent. I know that they gave me least of the evil. I understand that too, and it was just hard for me. But on the whole charge being that the risk of injury, I felt like, okay, well, they said, well, the touch and all that. I still feel like I didn't do it, and it was hard for me. The part I do take accountability for, I realized that if I just didn't maybe put myself where I allow certain circumstances, it's hard for me to say, but I know what y'all gonna get at, and it's gonna affect me, but it's hard for me to take. I'm still trying to fight my case in court with this case, and it's just hard for me to just go, yes, did I do this? And I know that's what you guys want to hear. It's just hard for me to say yes.
Okay.
I know that.
So I still need to have something a little more tangible that you took from the short-term sex offender program.
With that, it's not a problem. Just within itself, the program itself, I took up. Especially well, our main thing in the program was understanding victimizing a victim, understanding the reason why we do the things you do. My understanding is realizing that I understand that for myself, that put myself in a situation where, well, the program teaches you that put yourself in a situation where if you are in a situation that you don't need to be in, we need to find ways out of it. What is the way of escaping the things that cause an effect of you? My ways is it's just not being involved, period. Meaning that me, myself, working more, not dealing with stuff that I don't have to deal with. I just learned my anger better. I learned how to not have a control issue within myself. I had a lot of anger with myself. And with that, I reacted on those things. So it pulls that away from me. My high sexual desires or that I may have with multiple females that I dealt with, learning how to separate that stuff. I'm way older now. So my attitude towards all this, I'm about to be 50 years old. And my attitude towards all this is just work, staying away from nonsense, of course, no alcohol, no drugs, and pushing away from stuff like that.
I guess my concern, Mr. Kendrick, is, and it is your right to say you didn't do the things that you were charged with doing. And that's my reason for asking you what you got out of the short-term program and the Voices program. because they do relate to the offense.
Yes, ma'am.
So you talked about the short-term program teaching you patience and awareness to take accountability for your actions. Did you actually do that? It's a yes or no.
I took accountability for things that I was involved with myself. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, can you comment on why you think the victim made those comments?
Truthfully, I truly believe that the grandmother had something to do with it big time. She had called DCF for me 9 times, fake DCF's calls on me 9 times. The mother, she would go to the school all the time, and she would just, which she wasn't supposed to be at school when I was connected, and she chose to go back there and to the school, and she would have personal conversations and going in and out the school. And I think this was a way for the grandmother to get my child to be able to get money. To this day, since I've been incarcerated, my child reached out to me, but of course, I did not allow that to happen. And to this day, everything that my child do without me dealing with, I know only because she constantly push messages towards me. My other daughter I talk to this day, she also, which came to court during trial, also just say, Dad, I truly believe that, and based on the conversation, that I believe that the grandmother has something to do with this big time too. This is why it's so hard for me to go, yes, it's just this. And I know I'm going around the bush. I know that. I knew getting in front of you guys, the conversation I'm going to have, and obviously you caught on to that very fast. And the conversation was not going to be so clear cut because I feel like I did what I did to be able to set myself free. I also did what I did in these programs to knowing that these were the things they wanted it from me. It's not to lie, it's just to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I want to ask you, Mr. Kendrick, has any of this incident ever occurred previous to this one?
With this type of thing, with this, I've been down the road. Not with minor, no.
But with another victim?
Yes. And
So,
I also...
Can you see a pattern here? And do you think that there is something that you're missing in terms of where you are in your life, about why you keep getting charged with this type of offense?
Well, if you want me to speak on it, my first situation I dealt with, I got actually...
No, I'm just asking you, if thinking about that offense and what occurred now, whether you think that you personally have some problems that you have not addressed.
Well, I mean...
I'm not asking you to talk about that one. I'm asking you to talk about what happened in the past, plus what's happening today with you that maybe you haven't addressed. Any specific problems that you think you might have that you haven't been honest with yourself?
Well, like I said, I mean, I truly believe that. I mean, I know I'm not perfect. So yes, I believe to the answer to your question, yes, I know there's things that might need to be addressed more of. I'm be honest with that. I do believe that. But I know this situation I'm in, of course, I know it looks bad. I'm not saying it don't. And I also know the fact that you brought that up, I know you were connected to and asked the question, well, this seemed like it'd be a pattern. But it's really not. And I know, again, it's like I'm in denial, but I'm not. I know the circumstances and what happened last time and what happened this time, that I'm just in. Unfortunately, my issue is dealing with multiple females. That is my issue. That is my main issue. I'm not faithful as a husband when I was married, and my issue is dealing with multiple female, putting myself in high risky situations that I need to know not to be involved with. This is my big issue. And because of that, love to party, love to hang with different females. These are my issues. So I put myself in circumstances where it doesn't fit where I need to be at. And this is the different change.
So what are those issues that you have in dealing with multiple females? And have you addressed those? Have you identified what you think those issues are? So what are they?
Well, my issue with multiple females, I feel like that I never was happy or satisfied with just one female. So I found myself finding different things out of each female. My attitude was I just dealt with girls on a daily basis of who cares how I dealt with things. I was younger dealing with this type of stuff, not looking for that as a justification, but I did it. Now when I'm seeing
how are you addressing that?
Well, one thing I'm not doing is dealing with the multiple females. That is something that's never going to be in my caliber now. I am older now. I'm seeing these things that since I've been incarcerated, I lost my wife, I lost my mother, I lost my father, I lost a child. All these things and the separation of it is because of dealing with different females. Instead of me growing up and realizing that I have to continuously be in these situations, I wouldn't put myself in these situations if I learned how to grow up. And I feel at this point in my life, at the age of my life, being incarceration most of my life, that at this point, I have taken all that away from me and said, this is not what I need.
Well, Mr. Kendrick, unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your wife. You have a lifetime sex offender registration. And, from what I read, part of your issue, what you identify as a high-risk situation for you is being around women and alcohol. So, and your last DR, I think, was in April, a little over 2 years ago, when you had Chrono. And for some reason, I don't know if you have taken a TIR program, although you said that you've never had a problem with drugs or alcohol, but alcohol seemed to have played a role.
Well,
what are your thoughts about that?
Well, yes, it does play a role, but it's not that it play a role with me. I'm around the people that is doing it. So it's not like I am myself consuming this thing. So I am around people with that. But that goes back to what I said the first time, being around this party life. I was always around a party life. I grew up around a party life. So it's those things only led me to down the road and where I'm sitting at right now. And it got me nowhere. So I'm just only seeing myself now, someone that's totally different attitude, more patient in attitude, someone that's totally open-minded and see things not just one way no more. I don't see things through my eyes no more. I see things the way I know I should see them. And with that, I take that with my life to walk up out of here if that happens. Even if I'm here, I just take that to see I do myself better. I don't deal with alcohol personally myself, no.
Well, Mr. Kendricks, one thing I can tell you is your criminal history is concerning. And I really haven't heard you truly express what you think the issue or issues are. And despite the fact that you took the short-term program and the voices, I didn't hear much about, you indicated some of, how the Voices program has helped you, but not as it specifically relates to the offense for which you're serving time for, because you felt the Voices addressed anger management and drug addiction. And you indicated the short-term sex offender program addressed for you how things should be. So for me, it's not really sufficient. But I hope eventually that you'll come to terms with the real issues that you have. So thank you for answering my questions.
No problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'm all set.
Board Member Zappo Sasso.
Mr. Kendrick, I just want to ask a couple of questions about some of the things that you've talked about. You cited the work that you've done in your programs to identify what you think your triggers are. In reading over one of the police reports related to the instant offense, it talked about the fact that it's reported that you and your significant other had an argument, and that she took one of the daughters and left, leaving you at home with the victim. So it seems to me there's a linkage between anger and control. And, to my colleague's point, have you asked for the anger management program? Have you explored any of the anger piece as it relates to your control piece?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I did ask for it. Most of the, unlike just like the Voices program that I took, the Voices program, even though we took it, was more of a writing assignment, not an actual class assignment. So I did read over the assignments that they give us. I did read over it. It wasn't like a one-off teacher, running a group thing. So it was during the COVID. So I had to do a package, not like the short-term program, which I actually attended a program, a group. The anger management program, I asked to fill out for the anger management group. Unfortunately, they have a tendency of, you can sign up for them because, many people that want to get involved, it's not that simple. I wish it was more simple for us to get in programs so we could just present all these programs to you guys that you want to have us take it. And I mean, that's basically with that. That's, I mean, don't get me wrong. The program I took with the Alpha program, they actually do partial of anger. And that's just more with, just being a person of God, trying to change my concept of living, seeing things in a more brighter form, seeing things more patiently, trying to move past of a negative past and move forward to a better future. I did have a true bad anger. I'm not, this is why I'm brutally honest, whatever may come out of it. I had that issue, but it took all this loss and it took all the things that I've been through to see myself where I'm at now. I mean, a lot of this stuff is hard to deal with, but I have to deal with it as it comes. I also know if you guys, or if I discharge his society, I have to deal with some of these circumstances. The only good thing about it, I have a family support to be able to face the circumstances.
So what do you envision if you were to be released? What does that look like for you? Your work employment, I saw that you had 2 years roofing, but for someone who's your age, even being incarcerated for the last 9 years, your work history was minimal. You say that you have a little bit of a safety net with money from your mother. You think you can go back to your job, but I'm interested in how you're going to manage everything that you've learned without some of the core programs that we as a panel think are important: anger, domestic violence. You have other children, you have other relatives, you're going to be in society where there's women. When we look at this, we concentrate on the instant offense, but we also know what happened in 2003 and in 2005. We have all those cases as well. So when we weigh public safety, Mr. Kendrick, we need to look at this in the totality of what happens when we make a decision and then you make a decision once you're released. And sometimes those decisions aren't compatible, and those are based in what our concerns are. So can you just talk about that a little bit? What that looks like from a release plan?
Well, again, so my brother right now, it's besides I can get back into the job I was going to do because I actually like that work. My plan was actually going back to school. So I wanted to do the trucking driving. I want to do trucking. This is what I want to do, get my CDLs, prepare for that. The reason why I want to do that, so if I feel like I can be more motivated every day living in, doing my job. I'm always on the go, really not enough time to really sit still. The great thing, all my kids are older, and so that does put me in a better position. I don't have to have no kids that I have to deal with, not that, whatever the case, just I don't have to deal with that, being that my kids is older, facing that so I could be on the road more. This is my plan. So the reason I'm able to do this, because financially I'll be coming home financially okay. I don't have to, oh my God, I need a job. Oh my God, I got to find somewhere. I don't have to have those type of things that most inmates come home with jail have. I'm able to do that, to seek my job, to go to school and be able to put my full time into what I want to do. And it's not a regular school, you know what I mean? This is more of like a driving school. So it's limited people how you deal with. And this is a big thing that I want to do. So coming home, it's not hard for me with that circumstances.
But going home when that time comes is also going to include a significant amount of supervision through a 15-year probation period. Do you think that is going to be something that you're going to be able to adhere to? I mean, we've talked control, we've talked anger, you have a direction that you're looking at, but you're going to have a lot of people demanding a lot of your time. There's going to be a significant amount of programming for you. Based on your past offenses, this offense, and everything else. How does that look in your future?
Miss, I give you the honest, brutal truth, right? Every day I have to face that in here, right? I have to face a CO or someone telling me what to do. And you know how I'll handle that? I learned this. It's in life, we have to set things for what it is. And if this is the situation where it takes me to model myself, mold myself to set the thing that I have to do, it is so easy if I can deal with it on a small term to deal with it on a bigger term, because I have no choice to do it. To knowing that I have to face a parole officer or a probation officer or a job or anyone, I'm going to be told, someone's going to be telling me what to do. And I have no issue with that because I have to deal with that every day. When I'm told this here, I wish every CO that I dealt with could get in front of you and say, Mr. Kendrick's a model inmate. And the reason why he's like this, because I don't feel like I have to attack everything that comes to me. I don't have to control it. I don't have to push against it. I recognize what it is. Now my mind think it's not, I had in my mind at one time was zero tolerance. I'm not trying to hear nothing. Now I realize, who do I think I am? And this is what it is. I know life is not about just what I feel. It's also taking accountability, seeing things for what it is, and or recognizing someone's going to tell you what to do, and you have to follow direction. And for a reason, for me to be successful, I'm going to have to follow these directions. And it's nothing for me to go, okay, great, I'm on probation, a long term, great. That means I can utilize them to even help me more too.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you, Board Members Abstention. So Mr. Kendrick, one of the big things that wasn't really even talked about here, and I was a bit taken aback by your interview with the parole officer, is your problem with alcohol. You stated to the parole officer, it's not a problem. I mean, how is it not a problem?
My problem with alcohol, being around people with alcohol, and what I deal with it and dealing with this on a daily basis of partying. That's my problem. I did, even though I felt like, like I said, even even the program I did here, the AA, I did this program. I understand. I mean, all my life I dealt with this type, alcohol, drugs, but it wasn't with me actually per se doing these things. I just feel like I'm around the wrong environment dealing with this. And because of this situation, you're right, 100%. It is that. Everything is dealing with some kind of substance. And the substance abuse that I'm dealing with is dealing with the nonsense I'm around with it. And I have to accept that these things I dealt with for years. And because of these factors, it always leaving me to a party aspect and where you see me at right now, that you people have to sit in front of me right now and determine what's going to happen with the rest of my, my life being here. Because of these factors, I accept that. I understand that. And this is why I say where I'm at now, I can never see myself again with this or without it. I can't see myself going through this again, being in front of this situation again, or dealing with this anymore. I lost too much of my freedom, too much of my family, too much of my time being in this situation. But I gained a better understanding perspective.
And you know how long that's good for, right? Until you pick up the next drink. And then it goes out the window.
Well, I understand that happened.
I mean, I'm reading what I'm reading in front of me. There are things that you've said in the past. There are risk factors that you've identified. And it's like I'm having a problem with honesty here. I mean, you seem like, in one sense, you seem like you're trying to be forthright. And in another sense, it's like I'm having a hard time with the fact that, this isn't the first time for you. And, and then I look at the 422 Pruno ticket, and it's like, makes sense to me.
Can I explain that?
So, I mean, you can tell me what you want about it. Go ahead.
I'm being forthright to you. In here, when we make Pruno, I'm not saying that people don't drink it. This is 100% what they do with it. This is not what at the time was making Pruno for. It was just, if Pruno, they use it's to sell. It's actually to get money to eat. Even if that don't make sense, this is what we do with it. It's not so much of to drink it because you don't want it. For me, it's not to drink it at all. But this is what it's for. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand it. I understand that it's a ticket. And I also understand that it's something that I have not been involved with and just for so long. I moved myself away from a lot of this type of stuff. But I do understand your concern.
I mean, another thing that really bothers me here is this, that, and I always try to, as a board member, I always try to look at what has somebody done since they've been in, right? But I can't ignore the fact that at your sentencing, the sentencing judge says, I have an obligation to protect society from sexual predators like you, Mr. Kendrick, and I intend to fulfill that obligation. I mean, I'm caught with not enough here. That's what I'm caught with. It's like I have to measure suitability, right? Do I believe that you're going to go back out and somehow your past is going to change? Your past actions are going to change in the future. And I'm really struggling with that. So I appreciate what you've tried to do in there. I hope that you can continue to try to put your best foot forward in everything you do. But Board Member Chance.
So, Mr. Kendrick started out talking about program, the father, the alpha, and, you know, his job opportunity and what his mom died and left he and his brother and his involvement in outreach programs. He said nothing about programs that he took to address the charge for which he's currently serving. And so when I inquired about what he gained from those programs, for example, in The Voices, he said what he enjoyed about it was the fact that it covered anger management and drug addiction. The short-term sex offender program, he learned how to understand how things should be, and that he definitely had remorse for the victim, and had a difficult time talking about the trial, which was difficult for him. So when I actually pinned him down and said to him, so for the Voices program, you talked about drug addiction, but you told the parole officer you had no problems with drugs or alcohol. And then for the short-term program, you never talked about the impact of the victim. You never expressed any remorse. Didn't really cover anything relevant to demonstrate today some signs of change. And in looking at Mr. Kendrick's criminal history, for me, he has not totally addressed his criminogenic needs. And so my vote is to deny him based on the nature of the criminal history and inadequate evidence of offender change. There is more that I could add, but for now, that's what I'm going to put.
Thank you. Board members, Zappos.
So in reading the file, it was pretty bleak, I think, but I am going to say that I do believe that Mr. Kendrick is being brutally honest with what he has current reality in terms of what he's done in the last several years. I do think that he's starting to peel away the layers of that onion in terms of what transpired, where he is today, and how that interconnects. But the offender change that I'm beginning to see, I think needs more work. And I would really like to see him go through, I don't even know what program, either anger, DV, and maybe a tier program, because I think he's on the right track. I just don't think he's far enough along right now for what we want to see.
You just can't have lifetime with.
And I appreciate everything that you said, because I do believe that he is trying. And those things, anger management, DV, dealing with substance use, things like that are things that he's going to need to deal with. Criminal history is, and criminal history here and his performance in the community is what is giving me a lot of pause here. And based upon that, I would join Miss Chance, Board Member Chance, in denying. For the same reasons. So regarding James Kendrick 230734, I would move to deny parole for the following reasons: nature and circumstance of the current offense, criminal history, and inadequate evidence of offender change. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the parole in this case is denied.
Last time was looking at
This concludes the hearing for James Kendrick, 230-734. Mr. Kendrick, your case has been denied. You receive all this in writing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Okay, what's that thing, man? Yep. Greene. Come pretty soon. Very confident. Right.
All right. I had to celebrate on that one. You know, one got out today, another one got stayed behind. So, hey, I want to go ahead and thank everybody that's in here right now. It was some KC fan. This one's gonna be a short one. That was the first individual that just got denied. This is gonna be the second one. The list on this one is kind of short. Let me check. I think it's like 4 or 5 names on this one. Oh, 1, 2, 3. There's only 4, so there's 3 more people coming up. This is probably Greene Frank or Lynch Patrick. It's definitely not Pedraza. Let's see. Let me just get his name ready.
Hi, Mr. Greene, good morning.
Greene.
Good morning.
There it is.
About to begin, okay?
Okay.
Let me look up Greene. Let's see if we could get the drop on Greene here.
Good morning, my name is Parole Officer Smelly. Today's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Parole. Following board members are present this morning, invite state their names on the record, certify they've reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, Mike Pohl.
Good morning, Joy Chance.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Morning.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record, sir.
Oh, damn.
Greene 441355.
Mr. Greene is serving a sentence of 3 years with 7 years of special parole for organized retail theft. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of March 1st, 2024 at 50%. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and he has not completed any programs to date. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score for the SRT falls within the high range of risk for risk. Mr. Greene, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. Sir, you may begin.
Today I come and tell y'all change and admit my wrongs. I was going through a traumatic time when I was home when I committed these crimes, trying to take care of my daughter. And I came in and I actually did a few weeks of voices, but I had pulled a ticket being that I had an issue with another individual when I brought it up to the officers, and they told me the only way that I would be moved if my level goes up so I could transfer jails, because they didn't want to do their job and move me away from the entity that was going on. So that's why I didn't get to finish my programs that I was in when I was in Robinson. And I'm just trying to get home so I could take care of my daughter, because she doesn't have both of her parents in her life. Being that I'm in here, my baby mom, she doesn't take care of my daughter. So now she's with my baby mom, and she getting old and she needs help taking care of my daughter. So when I go home, I have family support in New York that's going to help me with housing, getting employment, and everything I need when I get home, so I wouldn't have to go do the same things I was doing before to get income to take care of my daughter.
All set, Mr. Greene?
Yes.
Thank you. How old's your daughter?
She's 8.
She's 8.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we've read about your past history, all the documents and what you've tried to do while you've been in. Based upon that, we have some questions for you. And we're going to talk about your case and give you a decision. Okay?
Yes.
So a few things. One of the things, glaring things that came off of the paper for me was 10 tickets. 7 for refusing housing. And I mean, I don't want to go back to ancient history like 2 years ago, but there's a flagrant disobedience. There's another thing there. So what appears to me is like when something's not going your way that you can't deal with, you just disregard it.
No, that's not what happened with the refusing housing tickets that I caught in Osborne.
All of that. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them. Because they all was in the same time range. When I was in Carl Robinson and I got the first refusing housing, there was inmates extorting me for my belongings. I brought it up to the captain and told him what was going on. He told me that he's going to look into it. And he looked into it and he gave me a separation in Carl Robinson. But he still sent me to SED because he wanted me to write a statement saying that I don't have any issues and my belongings wasn't being taken in order for me to go back to the housing unit. But I told him that I wasn't going to do that because my belongings was missing and there's people extorting. So that's when he wrote the ticket and he put me in SED. When he came back, he was going to put me in the same unit, the same captain. And I told him, how are you going to put me in the same unit that I told you I'm having issues? And he said, that's where population management puts you. That's where you have to go. If you don't want to go, you're going to stay here and we're going to make you a pending transfer. That's what happened with all my tickets. The same thing in Osborne because there was multiple inmates, they gang affiliated and they was trying to extort me. When I went to Osborne, the same inmates, I ran into them in Osborne and told the captain the same thing in Osborne. And it's in my tickets where it says that I came to the office and said that I was having safety issues. That's the reason why I came in there telling them about that. And they gave me refusing housing because they wanted me to do the same thing, write the statement saying that there was nothing going on. But I didn't write the statement because there was things going on. And I know they was doing that to cover themselves just in case something happens to me.
So why were they picking on you?
They was straight basically because they was trying to tell me I have to pay them to live there, being I'm not from Connecticut, I'm from New York. So I don't know nobody out here. So they just found it as, I guess, the weakest link. He don't know anybody. He doesn't conversate with anybody. Nobody talks to him. So we're just going to target him. They say you're just trying to tell him my people have to send them money for me to stay here, or I got to give them commissary food, stuff like that. And I wasn't going to use the money that my sister sent me to eat to give it to them just to be here. So I just listened to what the captain told me I had to do. And that's what I did. And I told him it's going to backfire me in the long run because I have a parole coming up. And then he said, that's a decision that you have to make. They basically wasn't trying to help my issues.
Let's go on to other things. So, substance use for you. You told the parole officer it's never been a problem.
It's not a problem.
So 8 to 9 blunts a day, and that's not a problem?
That was before. I haven't been
before
around.
When?
Before my incarceration. In here, there's ways.
I want to talk about out there.
Out there before it was a problem, but now I haven't did it in so long. I don't even care for it. And I have more things I have to take care of when I go home other than worrying about smoking weed.
But you've never taken a TIR program.
Yes, I tried to get in the Tier 2 program when I was in Corrigan. They put me in it, but I had got extradited to Connecticut. I meant to Pennsylvania for a warrant. So when I got in that program, I had left. I have the papers in my cell where I was writing to get into that program. And they basically said I have 3 years. So they said I have time. But when I got back, I was already halfway else eligible and they didn't put me in the program.
Sure. So what was going on that I needed 8 to 9 blunts a day?
It was just a lot. My grandmother, she passed away. That's who adopted me when I was younger. And when I went home, I really didn't have any stable housing because I was staying with my grandmother. And while I was incarcerated before, when my grandmother passed away, I came home. They basically came with a decision, my dad and my aunt, that I wasn't able to stay with my grandmother lived there anymore because they took over and they were staying in. So I ended up staying with my mom. And it was good with my mom, but it was just basically like a whole lot of back and forth and arguing, and it wasn't working for so long. So I ended up going to a hotel. So I was just going through a lot, and that's what helped solve what was going on.
So just as long as we're there right now, so what makes you think that your relationship with your mom is going to be better when you get out? Because isn't it your mom that you're proposing as your sponsor?
Yes, because when I was in here, I actually spoke to my mom about what was going on and the things that was bothering me. And whatever she was doing that was affecting my behavior, she said that she would change. And she was changing when I was home, but I still wasn't going over there or going around because I felt like she didn't fully change. But I seen her decisions changing and what she was doing, but she didn't fully change. But I guess for the 3.5 years that I wasn't here, I spoke to her the other day and she admitted that she changed and it would be better for me to come here. And now my sister's over there and she's one of my big supporters that will be able to help me too. So she basically.
What kind of stuff weren't you able to deal with? It was like going on.
Like she had a guy she was dealing with, and me and him wasn't really like clicking. So it was like she will pick him over me sometimes, but she's not dealing with him no more. Because it was things that he was doing to her, disrespecting her friend me that I didn't like. So I didn't want to be around it because every time I'll say something, it'll just be like, this is not your relationship. So I just remove myself from the whole environment of it.
So where we are is that you have not taken any program, right?
Yeah.
So you were gonna start a tier program, and you weren't able to do it because you went to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then the other program that you were going to do was Voices.
That's Voices. I was in there. I think Voices about 4 or 5 weeks. I had 1 more week. And then that's when I had told the captain about my issue of the inmates extorting me. And that's when he gave me the Class A ticket and I got removed from the program because I transferred jails. When I got in other programs, I wrote with press to community release, asking if they can waive my ticket so I could partake in the program, but they told me to wait till the ticket cleared.
So let's talk a little bit about what you were doing, because we need to, your history is, your history is that you've done shoplifting and such to find money to do whatever it is that you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
So you did have some experience with construction?
Yes.
What did you do out there?
I was doing demolition.
Okay.
I got my Ocean 30 while I was incarcerated for 2 years in New York. So when I came home, my mom, she had her friend found me a construction job that he was doing. And I started to work the next day and I was doing that. But it was COVID time, so we couldn't work in the building we were working anymore. So that's when I get stopped. They stopped everybody from working.
So your OSHA 30 is still intact?
Yes. I have OSHA 30 flaggers, welding, carpentry, basic electrician, and barbering.
So what you're going to do is look for a position where you're able to do this type of work.
Yes.
Okay, and what were you making an hour when you
Construction.
Yeah.
But the way it was, the job that he had is like you call in for the beginning of the week and they pay you a certain amount every day. So it was through a program called Community Employment Opportunities in New York. So they pay you daily at 3:30. It's part-time, and you will call on Sunday to work for the whole week. And you have to call on Friday for a Saturday and Sunday. But on a daily basis, they go off by like if you have a kid or anything and like you paying rent. So they was paying me about $189 a day, Monday through Thursday. Friday wasn't working, and it was Saturday and Sunday. And if you call on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days over the weekend, it'll give you like $282 over the weekend.
and where is Community Employment Opportunities?
It's on Wall Street in Lower Manhattan.
What is the Fortune Society?
Fortune Society was a voluntary program that used to come to Rikers Island when I was there. And they used to just like mentor us. It was just former people that was incarcerated. They had their program outside. They'll help you with employment, housing, again, like state benefits and stuff like that. Everything would be on.
And that's what you want to do as well.
Yes.
So you've had experience with them in the past,
Yes.
and
It
they've
was-
been some, and it's worked for you.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Because I was on parole, so they was connected with parole. So if they'll put me into a job, they'll inform parole, and basically like parole will mandate me to do certain programs there, like for substance abuse, job training, creating resumes and stuff like that. So it was like a parole program that was together.
So that was the 2017 stuff that you did?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that you still have time with Pennsylvania,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they've communicated that they wouldn't have an issue with your release.
Yes.
So, you know, you're 25,
Yes.
got a kid that's counting on you.
Yes.
So the nonsense has got to stop,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you can do this.
Yes.
Board members, Apostasio, any questions?
Yes. There seems to be a lot going on in your life, Mr. Greene. Can you give me a little bit of background as to what was happening that brought you to make the decision to steal from multiple Ulta stores? And what does that mean? What do you do with the stolen merchandise? How does that become money that you then use for your life? I don't understand how this works in terms of that.
Because in New York, there was a store that I knew of, and they would buy perfumes and colognes because that's what they sell. So they will give me probably a little bit more than half of what the original price is in the store. And like I was saying before, my baby mom, she doesn't take care of my daughter at all. It's just me, my sisters, and my daughter's mom. And at that time, my daughter, she was in school, she needed things, and it wasn't enough money to support what she wanted to do. So I felt like that was the only way I could get the money for my daughter to do what she wanted to do without telling her no, so she can grow up better than I did, so she wouldn't have to go through the things that I went through when I was younger.
And I understand how you could think that, but, you know, obviously, I'm sure you've had now time to think about the fact that there's better ways of providing for a child than stealing and in such getting caught, and now you're out of her life for a period of time. What's the broad story of why her mom can't take care of her? Is it substance use? Is it what's going on there?
She takes a lot of pills, and she's actually dealing with another man, and she got married and she had another baby. So she's basically giving all her attention to her new baby and her husband. And her mom, my baby mom, knows that that's wrong. That's why she has her now. Because when my daughter goes over there, she fights with her husband in front of my daughter, in front of the kids. But my baby mom, I was in here, she fought for custody from my daughter from my baby mom because of all the stuff that my daughter was going through when she was over there. So now she's with my daughter. My daughter's with her grandmother, and she used to be back and forth from my sister and my mom and her mom.
Okay. Is this in New York?
Yes.
Okay. So your plan, upon your eventual release, is to go back to New York,
Yes.
do programs there, look for employment, stay with your mother while you find housing,
Yes.
be back in your daughter's life, finish your Pennsylvania special parole that runs through next fall, and do whatever needs to be done in New York.
Yes.
What was your involvement in Connecticut? Did you have friends here? What would bring you to Connecticut other than, was it just the location of the stores?
Yes. I don't have any family out here or friends. I don't know anybody out here.
Okay. So when you talked about your demolition job, but you weren't really working that much the 2 years prior to incarceration. Was that because of the nature of the job? Did you look for other work in between with? Okay.
Yes, I was on Indeed, and I was doing like job applications for jobs, but no job was really calling me back. But when I was going out to Staten Island to see my daughter, her grandmother's boyfriend, he did like a little construction thing behind their home, and it was a company he was working for. He would pay me to help him. So that's what I was doing. I was helping him a little bit on the side, and he'll pay me out of his check that he get paid. And that was just the same demolition stuff. That's all I ever did with construction, with demolition.
I think there's work there.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the series of events here now with an incarceration behind you, sometimes employers look at that. So in one way, I mean, I hope that you've taken this period to understand, some of the bad decisions you've made, although I understand probably at that moment in time why you made them. But moving forward, how does this look to you? Like, do you feel construction, or are you going to go, work with a probation officer to pursue other employment, other types of career issues? Where do you see yourself?
I really want to do construction because I like working hands-on more, and I don't have a problem working with people like in a group. So I will be seeking work in construction. I was going to do the barbering, but I didn't really like the barbering. I just did it because it was like a program that was offered in the jail, and it was something to do, stay out of trouble. So I did it, but I really want to do construction. And then like maintenance, probably like general maintenance, like cleaning or something.
All right, most likely, if you were to be released or at the end of your sentence, there's going to be some type of requirements for you to adhere to. Do you feel like you're going to be able to balance all of this, the need to take care of your daughter, find employment, reintegrate back in with your family, as well as adhere to the conditions that are set for your probation?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you. Board Member Chance.
Mr. Greene, you're what, 95 years old?
Yes.
So what happens the next time when you have a little issue with employment in regards to your daughter? Because I hear what you're saying, but I think there are agencies that provides assistance.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why either your sister or your mother or someone didn't make that suggestion to you as opposed to you going to a life of crime.
Yes, and I honestly, my sisters, they didn't know that I was doing that. I never told them, and if I did, they would have been disappointed in me. They would have never wanted me to do that because they gave me other things I should have done, but I didn't listen because it was at the time that it was needed. It was like it wouldn't be enough time, so I felt like that was the quickest way for me to get the money that she needed. Like I need
that's not gonna work.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So, our chair person have sort of gone over with you what you can do, where you go out and where you're gonna do, and who your family is there to provide support. So, Mr. Greene, I would suggest, since your mother and your sister is assisting you with the raising of your daughter, that you might want to discuss with them, the financial piece going forward, so that you don't go back to committing crimes.
Yes. Yes.
And the reason why they gave you 7 years of special parole is because they think you need the close monitored supervision.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope that you have figured out what lessons you can take by that. Your brains is fully developed now. You can't go off and no longer make stupid decisions.
Yes.
Okay, and if you want to be in your daughter's life, it's obvious that she needs you, that you have to make good decisions.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm all set, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering.
I have one more question. Who is Noelle Guadalupe?
It's my co-defendant.
Yeah. How do you know her?
I grew up with him. I went to school with him.
But there's no reason for you to be around him, right?
No, I don't even conversate with him anymore. I don't talk to him anymore.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about your case and give you a decision. Okay.
Yes.
Where I am here is that I think Mr. Greene has done some growing up. Was concerned about programs. He explained what was going on. I can understand what was going on. I think that he's done enough research looking at suitability, right? He's done enough research into the community employment opportunities in Lower Manhattan, the Fortune Society, where he can connect for mentorship, employment, housing, and state benefits in New York. He does have some skills that he'll be able to find employment, be able to give Fortune Society or community employment opportunities something to work with, so he can find some meaningful employment. I know he talked about the situation with his mother, that he wants to parole to, and what was going on and why that was shaky in the past, and a little more suitable place for him today if everything checks out with parole and community services. Pennsylvania parole is okay with a release. And I think that, Mr. Greene wants to help take care of his child. And I'd be willing to give him an opportunity to do that for the next 7 months before he goes on to special parole. Board members, Abbas-Hasu.
I'm looking in our systems, and he's been in 6 different facilities since he came in. So I had shared your concern about programming, but honestly, logistically, I don't think that there would have been any opportunity for him to be successful. I also think, based on what he said, I'm not sure that it's very productive to keep him where he is.
Right.
So I would support his parole with a condition to go to the interstate unit.
Okay.
I agree with everything that both of you said.
Regarding Frank Greene, number 441355, I move to grant parole on or after January 22nd, 2025, with the following stipulations: halfway house placement, out-of-state placement, New York, and no contact with co-defendant Noel Guadalupe. Anything further? Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Mr. Greene, you've been voted to parole and given you an opportunity here. The stipulations that you have apply to both your parole and your special parole going forward. Okay?
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
You say transfer to interstate. I
Yes.
believe that's the term that you have to use, interstate.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Good luck,
thank you.
Mr. Greene.
Thank you.
All right.
This concludes the hearing for Frank Greene, 441355. Good luck to you. You will receive all this in writing.
All right, thank you.
Ask the officer to send in the other individual, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, can
Hi.
you spell? You have Lynch?
Okay, so Lynch is gonna be a minute. Lynch is in dialysis. I can't have him get disconnected from the machine yet. So he'll be
Okay.
done by 10:40.
All right, you can send the other individual in.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Hernández, ¿cómo se llama? Hernández, ¿verdad? Hernández. Hernández? Okay. You're gonna go on that big home, go around that way. You're gonna want to, I think, one of them. Sitting on that's right. Oh. I'm going outside the door.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a good basket.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying him.
No, good throw. That's right, yeah. Yep.
Trying to see.
You have something? And would you have something? What were you getting?
Like, also.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 192.
Yeah. Any other,
Hi, good morning, Mr. Pedraza. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes. Good morning.
We're about to begin, okay?
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Parole Officer Smelly. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Parole. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, Mike Poole.
Good morning, Joy Chance.
And I'm Ellen Zafo Sasu.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record, sir.
David Pedraza, inmate number 391129.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for David Pedraza, 391129. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 4 years jail with 3 years probation to follow for criminal possession of a pistol revolver, a violation of probation with the underlying conspiracy, the sale of narcotic substance, a violation of probation with the underlying violation of protective order, and burglary third, and an assault third. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of February 27, 2025 at 50%. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. However, he has not completed any programs to date. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score on the SRT falls within the very high range. Mr. Pedraza, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole, sir. You may begin.
Okay. What was that again?
Why do you believe that you should be given parole today?
I believe I should be granted parole because I've been focusing on the things that I have to to do, and not only that, I got a lot of structure now. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people behind me supporting me, so I know that when I come home, it'll be it'll be a better outcome. Be a better outcome, and not only that, I feel like the things I've done don't reflect the person I'm becoming. So I think today that I should be granted parole. And not only that, this is my first time on parole.
Is that it, Mr. Pedraza?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one just real quick question. When does your ticket clear so you can take programs again?
My ticket should be clearing next month, February.
So February.
Yes.
Okay. So what's going to happen here is that we've read your background and what you've done since you've been in. And based upon that, we have some questions to arrive at your suitability for parole. And what we're going to do is take turns asking those questions. Then we'll talk about your case and give you a decision. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to start questions today with board members Zafo Sasu.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Pedraza.
Good morning.
You actually gave me a very good starting point with your opening sentences. You said that what happened doesn't reflect the person that you've now become. And reading through some of your offenses as well as some of your criminal history, I want to start there. And I have to assume that some of what we're going to be talking about today is motivated by what appears to be significant substance use issues. A half a gallon of Hennessy or alcohol, cocaine, a quarter of an ounce. You mentioned drinking beer at one point. Can we start there and tell me about how much of your criminal history and these offenses that we're talking about today were fueled by that?
So, I had trouble past. I've been in and out of group homes since I was 13 years old. I had a lot of brothers and sisters, and it was hard for mom being a single parent to monitor all of us. And I started picking things up. I started picking, especially substance abuse up at an early age, and I would run to that to solve my problems. And one thing, led to another. I don't want to skip, but one thing led to another, and I was heavily involved in the streets and stuff like that. And I was dealing with drugs, and I was doing drugs, and it was. I felt like it was a matter of time. I felt like this jail sentence was. It was a blessing. It was a blessing to me because, it made me reflect and think about the things that I should have been doing. But let me not go off. But yeah. So a lot of the things I went through, it was fueled by addiction. It was fueled by addiction, and I see when behind these walls, I see all the chaos it caused. From my family and from my son.
and you know, it wasn't a big deal to me because it was almost like culture to me, you know, for me to be doing drugs and stuff like that. So when I came in, it was like more like I had to you know face it. I had to face the fact that these drugs were making me spiral out of control, you know, and stuff like that. So you know, I'm just taking it. You know, I'm not taking it bad. I'm you know, I know I haven't followed my programs and stuff like that, but it's like you know, I came in with a whole lot of anger. You know, I wasn't, you know, I didn't educate myself as much, you know, so there was a lot of pieces missing, you know, due to my drug addiction. So, you know, I'm picking those things up little by little, I'm picking those things up. You know, I know I'm not perfect, you know, I'm calling them tickets here and there, but I'm definitely like, you know, when I come home, that's my main focus is to refrain from using drugs. So I wanted to take up any program or any help they're offering me in and out of this jail, so I could you know, better myself in that aspect.
Well, thank you for that. That gives us a good overview of where you currently are. My concern is that you haven't been able to access the programs knowing your history. And there's a note in one of the reports that we received that you had been in Tier 4 earlier, but you were removed for not following the rules. Can you elaborate a little bit about what happened in Tier 4?
So I put myself in Tier 4. I was supposed to start the Tier 2 because I thought it would be easier, but the Tier 4 they offered a lot of good things. You know, they offer a lot of good things. I went to Tier 4 and I treated it like a reunion. You know, I was over there just with people I was out in the streets with, and my attitude was bad, and you know, I got involved with those guys and stuff like that. It's you know, it's all I take responsibility for everything, but my attitude wasn't the best. I was talking about things I wasn't supposed to. You know, I was getting away with everybody's, you know, recovery, and just being disruptive. You know, disruptive. I took the work seriously. You know, the surface of it, I took it serious, but it was more of my attitude, like, oh well, I'm just gonna get this program just so I can go home, type of thing, instead of actually taking it serious. And that's just, you know, that they noticed that early, and you know, they gave me plenty of chances, and they noticed it early, and they got me out of Tier 4. They told me I could go back with the 30 days, but unfortunately, I got a jail transfer.
Okay. Well, that explains a lot. So I appreciate your honesty in terms of telling us your mindset and taking responsibility for that, but it still leaves me with concerns, even though it does appear that you've acknowledged some of your behavior. It still leaves me concerned because you do have a substance abuse score of 4, which is high. And you know, you're in a structured situation right now. You haven't taken some of the programs, and I'm just concerned about, do you know what the appropriate coping mechanisms to avoid getting back in the cycle? I mean, you mentioned you have a 11-year-old son who you have a good relationship with, but you had minimal employment as well. Was your substance abuse interfering with your ability to work?
Yes. So I was stuck in the mind frame for years that, you know, I was gonna take the easy way out. I was gonna sell drugs. That's all I knew, and abuse drugs. You know, so I chose the toxic lifestyle. You know, I chose to have those things around. You know, so I had that chip on my shoulder, like, oh, I didn't have to work, you know, stuff like that. But I had previous, like, you know, I worked, you know, handyman jobs and, you know, stuff like that, but never like commercial or anything like that, because I always wanted to be on my own schedule.
Right. So how is that going to change? What's the release plan look like for steady employment, supporting your son, and all of that?
So when I come home, I'm no longer living with mom. I was living with mom for years. So I just feel like I have to. There's a lot of work to do. You know, I have to find stable housing, and only way I can do that is if I work. You know, because obviously I'll be in the halfway house, and this is what I say about the structure part. You know, I got 4 people on top of me, which I feel like is it's not a bad thing for me. You know, so I feel like there's a lot of work to do. So it's in order for me to go up from here, I have to change something. I have to.
Right. And I think what we're looking for is what work you've done while you've been here to start that process. I did look at some of your transfers. It seems that you have moved around a little bit, which I know is difficult for programs, but there also seems to be, you've been in and out of the hospital. And we don't really talk about the medical piece because this is a public hearing, but there seems to be a lot at play here that you do need to work on. The medical piece is one of them. The mental health piece in terms of changing your mindset, which you've been talking about, the release plan, the lack of programs, and then we have some, the disciplinary reports, which are a concern as well. You've started talking about, your evolution of change. And again, I'm sure it was difficult to talk to us about, but I appreciate your honesty about Tier 4, because now we understand where you are. I need to know where you're going. What's happening and what are you doing now to get to that next point? I think programs are important, Mr. Pedraza, but you haven't taken any. How do you feel, being substance-free for the last 18 plus months, although I did see that there was an intoxication ticket. So were you using while you were in, or what was that part of the reunion piece that you talked about? What happened there?
So I was drinking. Pruno, and I got caught drinking Pruno. They popped the door. I was being careless, and I got caught drinking Pruno. And I don't want to sit up here, and just make excuses and stuff about the program thing. Because I was on the wait list for a while, and I just, I just don't want to. I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to present, what I have here. Like you said, it doesn't look too good, but like I've been going to church. I've been trying to, work on my religion. Work on the stuff that they can give me now. While these tickets clear. I'm working on anything that I can do now, so I can keep, moving and add some things to, programs and stuff like that.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit about that. So you can't do the programs that we want you to take, but how are you filling your time? You mentioned church. What else are you doing during this time period?
Well, I write a lot, and I help people out in the unit and stuff like that. With habeas and paperwork, and I write a lot. I write and I read a lot. So that's one of the my little side hobbies, I would say. And I just I inspire people to. I give them my story and I inspire people to do better. So I got like a couple guys I make preach to and stuff like that. So I got like a little, I would say like my own thing going on, like my own church thing going on within the unit. And we're trying to do like some revitalization type of sessions type of thing for the jail community. So that's what I've been working on now.
Are you eligible to go to AA or NA programs?
Yes, I've signed up for NA.
Have you gone to any?
No.
When you say you sign up for them, what does that mean? Do you have to wait for them to accept you?
Yes, I have to wait for them to put me in the group. And not only that, about 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine, he was going to NA, and he just thought it was a good idea for me to sign up. So I just, I did that recently.
Is your release plan to go back to Hartford?
No.
biggest experience.
Where do you want to go?
To New Britain with my brother.
Okay. There was also mention of a friend, Marilyn
Yeah.
Lopez. Who's that?
Yes. She's a real good friend of mine. She's a real good friend of mine. Church lady.
Okay.
And, she's just she's a person that I have in mind. She's a person that I have in mind. You know, I really do well with you know, being around people other than, you know, my family and stuff like that. But it's definitely a good friend of mine. She's always speaking a good word, stuff like that.
And where does she live?
She lives on the north end of Hartford.
Okay. And you had also mentioned that your sister was a potential sponsor. And
Yes.
where does she live?
She lives in Hartford too, but she has a lot going on at this moment. So it's like, you know, I don't want to bother my sister for anything right now.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna well, actually there's one other thing. We do have a lot of your history, Mr. Pedraza. And as I said before, we don't speak on the record about medical issues for your own privacy purposes. But there was a non-compliance with treatment issues in one of your violations of probation in 2019. So again, I guess because of, you know, your honesty and what you've been telling us, that we're going to chalk that up to you knew what you needed and that wasn't it at the time. And I'm assuming that you are going to be compliant in the future now that you've had time to think about these
Yes.
assistance pieces. Okay.
Rachel, not so much unless she comes over to the house.
Thank you. Board Member Chance.
So, Mr. Pedraza, I certainly appreciate your honesty today. One thing I can say for you, you have an awful lot of work to do. You know, right now you need programs to address your criminogenic needs and your substance abuse. And when I say criminogenic needs, I'm talking about, you know, your criminal behavior, which has continued through your DRs. The good thing that I heard you talk about today is you identify a high risk as free falling, but free falling means that you have no plans. So you have outlined in your conversation with the PO and what you've shared with my colleague today that you know you have to do one. But I'm going to come back to you have a lot of work that you have to do. You have to address your mental health, your medical, your DRs, which should address your criminal behavior, and your substance abuse, which you have a high score of 4. Having said all of that, do you agree that those are areas that you need to work on?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And you describe your unemployment as due to your substance abuse and selling drugs. So again, it goes back to your drug score of 4, which is your substance abuse, and selling drugs goes back to your criminogenic needs. Okay? So I'm going to say to you, you have until, I don't know when, sometime next year. And I do hope for the time that you have, whatever happens here today, that you focus on those things. You are 30 years old. Now is the time to get your act together. You have a short criminal history and you do not want to extend it anymore. Because the next time it won't be 10 years with 4 years and 3 years. It's probably going to be 20 years with 10 years or 15 years, whatever. You know what's going on with guns in our community, Mr. Pedraza. For me, that is serious. Every morning before coming to work, someone has been shot. They're either dead or critical in the hospital, and then the next day you hear they died. Every day. All over. Okay? So I'm saying all of that. I'm not preaching. I'm just pointing out to you why it is important for you to do programs that's going to help you so that you can change your criminal thinking and your behavior and address your substance abuse and your mental health and your medical, because those are the things that are important so that we don't see you here anymore. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So thank you for being so honest and talking with me today, and I wish you good luck.
Okay.
Thank you. Board members, that's Sassy.
Thank you. I think that Mr. Pedraza presented very well this morning. I think we had a very honest conversation. He does have an alcohol drug score of 4, and he is rated very high for the likelihood to recidivate based on the criminogenic issues just elaborated on by my colleague. In judging offender change, I do believe that Mr. Pedraza is motivated to change. I think he's starting to identify risk factors and triggers, but unfortunately has not taken the programs, the evidence-based programs that are risk relevant to address his issues so that he does have effective strategies to come out and be successful in the community. So I would like to see him commit to doing those programs, and hopefully that will get him in a better position to, and also actually spend some time and detail his release plan so that we have a more clear idea of what that is as opposed to the various options that we've read about and that he's talked about today.
Board member Chance.
So today I have Mr. Pedraza denied due to inadequate entity program participation and his DRs. And because of the fact that he had a gun and he had saw the nature and circumstances of the offense. And for me, I do not have a rehear for Mr. Pedraza because I think for whatever time he has left, he has a lot of work that he needs to do.
Okay, so I appreciate everything that was said in the hearing today. And I think Mr. Pedraza is headed in the right direction. I think that he is looking for and can find additional growth through programming, through a substance use tier program with history and such, domestic violence, anger management program, as well for him to set himself up for success, having, as you said, board members Aposasu, a more detailed release plan. You have a tablet, right?
Yes.
So to be able to look for opportunities for reentry programs, for housing, or not housing, employment opportunities in the community, as well with his substance use background, which he admitted was a handle of Hennessy and quarter ounce a day. Plus, when he was caught for this, he was on PCP, which PCP and a gun leads to people getting killed in life sentences. You know that, right? So, you know, to put together a concrete recovery plan, which includes meetings, and there's recovery coaches in the community that can help with the transition back to the community to have the support. So I'd really be interested in Mr. Pedraza having some parole support to bridge his 3 years of probation. So I'm willing to do a rehear on this case in order to do that. So that's where I am. So are we thinking tier program, DV and anger management? Or are we thinking
One or the other.
or?
Yeah, whatever he could get into.
And no DRs. A detailed release plan and a detailed recovery plan. So, in agreement with that?
I am. His discharge end of sentence is in 2 years, February of 27. Do you think a year would give him enough time to do all this programming? And come
So
back?
I actually have December of
December
26.
2026.
So I was thinking more along the lines of it's given him if we gave him 9 months to work on that, that would be October, and then halfway house, he'd need to wait in line for the halfway house. So hopefully he could be out in December and have a year on supervision before he goes to probation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And there's nothing guaranteed that the next panel that rehears this case is going to see things the way that we, majority here, saw them. So you really need to buckle down and take care of business.
And the only reason that I'm going to support the rehear is because I do think that you need a goal, and I think you're motivated. And if you have a goal, I think that you're going to work harder to get there.
Yeah.
But please don't take this to not think that I don't agree with my colleague about guns and drugs and,
Right.
and the havoc that it wreaks in the community from a public safety risk. That is at the forefront of our mind, which is why we want to give you this chance to prove to us that you are aligned with all of the change that you say you see.
So I had inadequate institutional program participation, inadequate evidence of offender change, and poor institutional adjustment.
Yeah.
In that way, and then the next panel can hear him.
Okay, what about,
I
I
have
don't remember,
the nature because, yeah,
had nature and circumstances.
Is that is the nature and circumstance?
because of the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So inadequate institutional program participation, inadequate release plan, nature and circumstances, and poor institutional adjustment. Are those the four?
Correct.
Offender change?
Yes.
Offender change.
All right, so there's five.
Offender,
No, there's four.
so it's
There's
offender
nature and
change.
circumstances of the current offense.
Yep.
There is inadequate institutional program participation. There's inadequate evidence of offender change, and there's poor institutional adjustment. Right?
So
So regarding David Pedraza, 391129, moved to deny parole today based upon the nature and circumstances of the current offense, inadequate institutional program participation, inadequate evidence of offender change, and poor institutional adjustment. And that that the panel rehear you in Mr. Pedraza in October of 2025, at which time we recommend that you take a tier program, that you take either domestic violence or anger management or both if you can take them, and come back to your next hearing with a detailed release plan to include a sponsor, employment, and hopefully reentry services that are available that can be wrote to in between, and a detailed recovery plan, which would include connection with a recovery coach in the community, meetings, things like that. That would be a good plan on how to stay sober and clean in the community. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Ms. Chance, you voted
To deny.
to deny. And so on a vote of 2-1, you are, wait, excuse me, on a vote of 3-0, you are denied today. And you'll be reheard in October of 2025. Okay?
Okay.
And all of that will be explained to you by the parole officer. Okay?
Okay.
This concludes the hearing for David Pedraza, 391129. You'll receive all this in writing, okay, Mr. Pedraza?
Okay.
You're all set. You're all set.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Have a good day.
It's kind of a trip, you know, when they make these decisions. If you were on the stream earlier on, when they ended up letting that SO out, man, it definitely leaves me scratching my head. Up next is going to be the last hearing of the day for Connecticut, and this is going to be I think Patrick Lynch. I want to say. Yeah, Patrick Lynch right here. Let me go ahead and put up his information. I found the Patrick Lynch. The Patrick Lynch I found has some pretty despicable crimes, but I'm not sure if it's the same guy. So I haven't. I'm not gonna put it up until I do a visual confirmation of the same individual if it is. But I guess we'll be finding out in. Oh, he's a nose picker. I think it is the same guy. Let me check right here. Let me pull it up here. Let me see the glasses. Yep, that's him. I'll add it up right there on the chat if you guys want to check it out. And I will go ahead and give him one of these before we start. Can you guys double check it? To me, it looks like the same guy. Let me check if I can see that tattoo on his neck. Yep, that's him. Tattoo on the neck confirms it.
Good morning, Mr. Lynch. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am.
We're about to begin, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Smelly. Today's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Boards of Pardons and Parole. The following board members are present this morning. And by stating their names on the record certified, they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, Mike Pohl.
Good morning, Joy Chance.
And I'm Ellen Zafo Sasu.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record, sir.
Patrick Lynch, 345748.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Patrick Lynch, 345748. He is serving a sentence of 12 years execution suspended after 75 months with 10 years probation to follow for illegal sexual contact with the
Yep.
victim under the age of 16. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of October 10th, 2024 at 50%. There is victim input in this case. We also have our OVS, Office of Victim Services Advocate, Ms. DeJesus on the line, standing by. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed Tier 2 to date. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score for the SRT falls within the high range. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender overall score for sexual offense recidivism fall within the low to moderate range. Mr. Lynch, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole.
Before Mr. Lynch begins, is he currently in the short-term program?
Nothing shows that.
Which
Are you, did you start it?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
he's scheduled to finish in April?
When did you start?
Yes, I started several weeks ago.
And it's scheduled to end in April?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Mr. Lynch.
This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole.
So I have kidney failure, and I was thinking maybe it'd be nicer to be released in the public in the world and not die in jail because I have a fatal disease, and I'd like to see my family before I, pass away.
So is that it?
No, there's I don't really know. I'm not good with words. I'm not a big talker. So there's a row. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So, no matter what we do today, you have a New York detainer and you're going to New York prison for 18 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
while I understand your sentiment about wanting to go home because you have a disease that is going to wind up most likely being terminal in the end.
Yes, sir.
You do have 18 years to do in New York.
Yes, sir. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's going to happen is we've read about your background. We've read about what you've done while you've been incarcerated. We know what's going to happen when you leave Connecticut Department of Corrections. And based upon all of that, we have some questions for you, and then we're going to give you a decision in your case. So we'll start questions with Board Member Turner. Oh, excuse me. How did I come up with that? Board Member Chance.
Okay, so Mr. Lynch, you didn't have much to say with your comments. You said you're not a talkative person, but you completed so you have a couple of issues. You were asked to complete good intention, bad choices, and the short-term sex offender program. You completed Tier 2.
I'm in the sex offender program.
Right, I know that. And then you have a drug score of 3, so you completed Tier 2.
Yes.
Just in looking at your criminal history, why do you think you committed those crimes? And it's not just in Connecticut, it's in Massachusetts and New York.
Massachusetts, I've never been to Massachusetts.
May of 2000.
No. That's not me. I've never been to Massachusetts.
So there was one in May and one in November 2000 that had to do with liquor law violation.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I will ask the parole officer to check that out. I'm reading it in your criminal history. I didn't make that up.
Yeah, I understand. I have. But I'm letting you know I've never been to Massachusetts.
Okay. All right, so what kind of substance abuse problem do you think you have?
I smoked a lot of marijuana.
What else?
That's it. I don't do any other drugs.
You don't drink?
No, I can't.
Okay, so you took tier 2.
Yes.
Was that helpful for you?
Yeah, it was helped me clarify how to not do drugs and understand how I can control my urges.
So in your criminal offenses, did using marijuana play a role?
No, ma'am.
So what particularly in tier 2 told you that you shouldn't do drugs?
No, I'm not sure. I just realized that it's not a good idea anymore.
And what happens to you when you smoke marijuana?
When I smoke marijuana, it helps me relieve stress.
So if it helps to release stress, how is that wrong?
I was just telling you what they told me at the program. They're saying drugs are no good for you.
But I'm talking about you and using, not what other people say. Do you feel it is a problem for you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you've been in the short-term sex offender program now for several weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you learned from that?
Truthfully, nothing.
Beg your pardon?
Truthfully, nothing, ma'am.
You haven't learned anything?
The program that I'm in really doesn't teach you anything besides how to read. Because they go from one thing to another and another and another, and it's not set on one specific thing. There's like 6 or 7 different things they've gone through already. And I haven't really understood what was going on in the program.
So far, you think all that it's teaching you is how to read?
Not learn how to read, no.
But that's what you said.
Yes, that's what I said. But the program really doesn't set on one specific thing. They have you reading, and I have literacy, so I'm listening to what other people say. And what I've heard from what the other people say is that the hard talking thing is kind of hard for me. I'm not good at it. explaining. I'm not good at it.
So why do you think you committed the offense that you did?
Stupidity.
Explain that.
Not thinking before actioning. I reacted instead of thought about it. I didn't think about the consequences. I'm gonna do that from now on before I do anything.
So what do you think was the impact to the victim who was under 16 years old?
I feel really bad for this, about what I've done. I think I've hurt her seriously, mentally. And I feel really bad for what happened.
So you previously had another offense committed in New York
Yes, ma'am.
in September of 2023. Why do you think it's happening again?
2023. No,
Well, that's when you were charged or
2020.
convicted.
2023. No,
I'm sorry,
that's
2020.
the original. That's this situation.
That's what I'm talking about, the one
Oh.
in New York.
No, that's the one in Connecticut.
Connecticut for Sarkis.
Yes,
New York, you had
21 in New York is
That's
supposedly.
what I was asking.
September of 23.
Yes, that's what I'm asking now. So again, Mr. Lynch, I say to you, you had this offense in Connecticut in 2022, and then you did it again in September 2023 in New York.
No. It happened in 2019, 2013.
And you're just being charged in New York?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Patrick. With the same date of birth, different social security for the Massachusetts.
So it's wrong on the record.
Correct. For
Okay,
Massachusetts.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I was not
So-
never been in Massachusetts.
okay, so I did ask her and she indicated that there's another person with the same name, same date of birth,
Yeah.
but a different social security number.
I've had that
So-
problem before, ma'am.
I beg your pardon?
I've had that problem before when I got pulled
Oh,
over.
you have? Okay, so I apologize for that. I'm going to ensure that that is removed from your record.
Yes, I had that problem when I got pulled over for speeding,
Oh,
but I dealt with all that already.
hey,
Yeah,
all right,
wrong, different social security number, yeah.
right, but the same name and date of birth.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I appreciate you clarifying that, and I will, we will ensure that that's removed from your record.
Because the other Patrick Lynch had a warrant for his arrest. And I didn't at the time. So they let me go and I went to court and I dealt with all the situation.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, so for me, Mr. Lynch, today, I do think that I am disappointed that what you have gotten out of the short-term sex offender so far is actually nothing. It is concerning because at least I thought it would have been able to help you with understanding why you committed this offense.
No, it didn't really teach me anything. I'm being truthful with you. The program, it's a good program, but they go flip-flopping around on too many different subjects. They don't concentrate on one thing at a time.
Have you shared any of that with
Yes,
the?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I have.
You have.
And they told me to just follow through with the program. So I just do what I do what I'm told to do.
Okay. All right, well, I don't know, you know, what else we can do. I know you have some medical issues that you're addressing. So I wish you the best of luck there.
Thank you.
And I hope that eventually, as you continue in the short-term sex offender program, that eventually something will click to help you to understand.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Board Member Chance. Board Member Zappos has any questions?
I just have one quick one. Mr. Lynch, in your interview with the parole officer, you were asked to talk about what happened, and you said that you felt aggravated, and that people know the truth. Are you acknowledging the offense for which you're serving time?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
And when you talked earlier about the ineffectiveness of the tier program in terms of controlling your urges, were you talking about urges in terms of your substance use or urges in relation to the offenses that you've committed?
Both.
Okay. So if you were to be released, although we understand that there is a detainer, how do you perceive yourself in the community and not committing these types of offenses? What are you equipping yourself with strategy-wise?
My strategy is going to go to dialysis and stay around my house. And stay away from people I'm not allowed to be around.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Chance.
So there is not much to go on
Board members.
with Mr. Lynch today. He completed the Tier 2 program, but you know, he said the only drug he does is marijuana. He does not see it as a problem because it helps to relieve his stress. The short-term sex offender program.
Ms. Chance, I'm sorry, there is Office of Victim Service input, and I inadvertently went back to you for discussion before I recognized OBS. So, Mr. Jesus, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Good morning, Board.
Thank you.
I did try to unmute, but you couldn't hear me. Good morning. My name is E. I am the victim of Patrick Lynch, and I'm still traumatized from what Patrick has done to me when I was 12 years old. And I'm currently working with a mental health therapist and EMDR therapist and seeing a psychiatrist. I do not want Patrick to be granted parole because I'm still living every day with what happened to me, and I have PTSD from it, and have ongoing panic attacks. I also don't want him to be living anywhere near me. Patrick has caused me so much trauma and anxiety and pain these past 2 years, and now knowing he is up for parole terrifies me because I don't want him on the streets and going to find another victim. I want him to stay in prison and finish his sentence on my case till he has to go back to New York for that case. Please do not let my rapist walk in the streets because I'm terrified of him, terrified of what he might do to me if he gets released from jail. I'm also engaged and would like to not bring this into my new life with my fiance, especially now that I have found a man who understands my trauma that Patrick Lynch has caused me. Patrick has tormented me with threats when he raped me at the age of 12 and told me if I spoke about it, he did what he did to me, that he would kill me and he doesn't deserve to see the light of day outside of his damn jail cell. He deserves to rot in jail until he dies of liver failure because he's a piece of explicit who took my whole childhood away from me. And I can never get that back. And I can never get rid of the daily nightmares that I have to live with for the rest of my life because of him raping me. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I'm sorry that I missed you. And we certainly appreciate victim input in these cases. Board Member Chance, sorry for the mix up there.
Okay. So, as I was saying, Mr. Lynch has 2 programs. He completed Tier 2, which he said it helped to clarify why he should do drugs, but he says the only drug he does is marijuana, and it helps to release his stress, and that's all it does to him. He is currently in the short-term sex offender program and has acknowledged that the program doesn't teach him anything except how to read. When I asked him if it hadn't helped him to identify why he commits these acts, and he's indicated no, which is extremely concerning for me because he has committed this offense. This is his second one, and it is concerning for me. So today, Mr. Lynch has not addressed his criminogenic needs, which is his criminal behavior in terms of its sexual offenses. And it is a serious public safety issue for me, considering that he has not been able to gain anything out of the short-term program so far. So I have Mr. Lynch denied. Great.
Board Member, agreed. Nature and circumstance, injury and impact on the victim. So regarding Patrick Lynch, 345748, move to deny parole based upon nature and circumstance of the current offense, injury and impact to the victim.
Inadequate evidence of offender change.
And inadequate evidence of offender change. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Mr. Lynch, we weren't able to give you parole today. We hope that you do good with your treatments and such.
Thank you very much.
This concludes the hearing for Patrick Lynch, 345748. Mr. Lynch, you'll receive all this in writing. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much. I'm free to go.
And this concludes the hearing for MacDougall at 11:23 a.m.
Hey guys, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna start up the Arizona hearing right now.
Yes, sir. You're all set to go. You'll receive this in writing.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna switch over right now to Arizona. See right here. Bam, let's go. So, all right, so we're just waiting for it to start up. Hey, welcome for the Arizona hearing right now. We're just transitioning over. I'm going to keep this stream running, and we'll figure it out later. Okay, no. Let me see here. Let me see. Oops, I need to get it up on the screen right here on let me see. What am I doing over here? I got to take this off of the chat here. He's done. Boom. And God, let me change the screen over. Calendar today's hearing. Okay, there we got it. It's already. The hell? Hold on. How come it's black? Is it stretched out too wrong? Just bear with me. I have no control over as far as when they're going to start it, but it should be starting up in the next few minutes, and this would be for Arizona. Capture window here. Let me see. Let me close this down because if not, it might interrupt the hearing. Shut this down here. All right, we got that. And let me close this window down over here. Oops. Okay. Close this down here. All right. So let me open up a brand new window here for you guys. See here. Okay. And I'll look up at the screen right now when I got everything set up. So if you're new or whoever's in here, welcome to You Have a Collect Call From. See here. Okay. And it's about to be one already. Yeah. So here we go. Okay, you guys can see it on the screen. Well, you guys will be able to see it on the screen right now. Bam, there we go. Switch it to. And let me turn on my camera here. What the hell? Why do we have, what the hell is this? Did I mess up my chat? We'll turn that off. All right. So how is everybody doing today? Where you guys tuned in from us? I'm ready to go right now. As soon as it starts, the screen right behind me will change. For anybody that's wondering, we are waiting for you guys. We're waiting for Arizona. It's gonna be a hearing from Arizona, Maricopa County to be exact. And I'm trying to turn on my light over here so you guys can see me a little bit better. Here we go. Ooh, looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost over here. See, let me dim it up a little bit. All right. So we just finished up a hearing from Connecticut, and there was a dude here that was all bad, and they denied him, which is always a plus. Hey Johnny, how's it going? Connecticut, that's right, represent. And let me see. Let me try to get the chat going over here too, so we could get the chat. We got Adam B and Nova Scotia. It's Scotia, right? Scotia. Hey, what's up? How's it going, young? All right. Hey, Trinity, thank you for the like. And I saw that you're coming in from Georgia. Hell yeah, represent yo city. Sometimes they do run late. But what can you do? You're at their mercy. Hey, what's up, Eleanor? Hey, what's up? That's right, coming in from the UK. Snow's back in the house. Highly appreciated. Hey, Snow, I really appreciate you. You pinning those comments and whatnot. A huge help sometimes, because I wish I had about 8 arms, but I only got 2, so that's what it is. All right, let me get the chat on the screen. YW, no problem. You're welcome, no problem. All right, it took me a minute to calculate that right there. Bob, 1986, highly appreciate that. And let me see if I can get the right chat, cause there it is. And we're in the game like EA Sports. There we go. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh man, they're running it crappy today. I hate when they do it like that. See, let me move my microphone. Hold on, which way? Let me move here. Okay, I'll move right here, and you guys could see. Oh, okay. It's gonna be doing the same thing as last time. I don't know why that happens, but it happens. So let me see. Hey, what's up? What's up, Nez? Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, the chat comments are coming in. All right, cool. Perfecto. And then let me fix the screen over here on YouTube, if you will. Since they're running it kind of small, I gotta adjust the size over here, like so. It might not stay like this, but boom, there it is. All right. What kind of cases do you guys like seeing? What cases intrigue you the most? If you don't mind sharing. Trinity military, or not military. Trinity, I try to catch them all, like either like Pokemon, right? Like Pokemon. What's with the mustache? When you could grow it, can no? As a matter of fact, thanks for reminding me. I gotta comb out the crumbs and the food and whatnot. You know, the corn and the queso. I love them all. All rise.
Have a seat.
Hey, thank you, Snow. Highly appreciate that. Yep. Follow the second channel if you can. Trying to get it to 1,000 just in case they this stream. Then we gotta back up. Gotta keep one in the chamber and on the clip. Can I mod? Can you?
All right.
mod?
Good afternoon. I'm Commissioner Procco. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for January 22nd, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar as well. All right, when you hear your name, please step up to the podium that's in the center of the courtroom in here. At the end of your hearing today, you are going to be receiving some paperwork that will cover everything we go over in here, which does include your next court dates as well as all of your release conditions. Please keep in mind, as you heard earlier, you do have the right to remain silent. Everything you say in the courtroom is being recorded, both audio and video, and could be
on
used
TikTok
in a future court proceeding. We're going to begin today with Mr. Felix, so he's already here with us, and then we've got Katie Keegan up after that.
That doesn't look like Katie to me.
All right, Mr. Felix, go and state your full name and date of birth, sir.
My full name is Juan Felix, and my date of birth is January 18, 2008.
All right, sir, you are here for a probation violation warrant. So I know you came through on an initial appearance for an armed robbery that took place, and you did get a bond set in that matter. So what's happened now, since you were on supervised probation at the time that offense allegedly occurred, they've done a term 1 violation. So in this case, you now have the public defender appointed as well. You have a revocation arraignment hearing set January 29 at 8:30 a.m. It's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And you do have an additional bond in this matter as well. That's going to be a $10,000 secured appearance bond. Now, if you do end up posting your bonds in both of your matters and end up getting released from custody, you are still on supervised probation. You do still need to abide by all terms, and that does include contacting probation within 72 hours. We'll get you paperwork that has all of that information in it, but do you have any questions for me at this time?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork over there and have, or I guess they'll probably take you back.
I didn't catch
All
his
right,
date
so
of birth.
we've got Katie Keegan
16?
and Jeffrey Sorrells will be up next.
What the what? Damn. They get down like that in Arizona? Hey, they definitely don't play
Your full name
around.
and date of birth? Katie Keegan, 5587. All right, thank you. So you are here
What
for two
the
separate
what?
cases. I'm going to go ahead and start with the new matter that came in. This is for new charges out of Superior Court, and those are 3 counts of possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 1 count of shoplifting, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in that matter, the public defender has been appointed. We do have a status conference currently set January 28 at 8:30 a.m., evidentiary hearing January 29 at 1:30 p.m., and a preliminary hearing January 30th at 8:30. Those will all be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. I do show you're currently on felony release in another matter. Looks like you were previously in the diversion program. I know they've already reinstated prosecution, but I don't think you've had a recent hearing in that case. But you are still considered to be on felony probation. That case number is CR 2022, not probation, on felony release. That case number is CR 2022-007385. The reason I'm telling you all this is because in Arizona, if you commit a new felony offense while being on felony release in another matter, Arizona law requires that you be held without bond in the new case. So because you're on felony release, that is your situation today. So you are required to be held in custody without the opportunity to have bond, at least at this time. That's why we've set that evidentiary hearing. That's the hearing that's on January 29th. That's the court date that gets set in order to allow the court to review those release conditions. Okay? So you do have a second case here, and this one is out of a separate court. This one is going to be out of the Peoria Municipal Court. And that is in their case number TR 2023-001030. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing's been set January 28 at 9 a.m. at the Peoria Municipal Court. The bond in that warrant's been affirmed. That's a $250 cash-only appearance bond. Because I did set the bond in that matter, I did also appoint counsel to represent you. That's required pursuant to Rule 6.1 since you have a bond. But that'll be addressed at the court date that you have at the Peoria Municipal Court. You have any questions regarding either of these two matters here? No, all right, ma'am. If you want to go and step over, looks like you pick up that paperwork already and have a seat. Mr. Sorrell, and then Christopher Lopez Garcia.
Shoplifting and some other stuff.
Good morning.
All right, sir. Your full name and date of birth?
Jeffrey Sorrell, 21781.
Can you speak up?
You said 217, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, sir, you've got 4 separate cases here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with the new charges that came in. So this is the new charges that would be out of Superior Court. Let me, You can't hear me?
I had no new charge.
You were booked in on a new case for 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person.
Thank you, KC.
I didn't know. I thought I came because I was late for court last month. That's what I thought I was here for.
You got multiple matters. So you've got the bench warrants that you were issued, and then this one is from May 14. Okay, so it's a May 14, 2024 court date. And you've actually got 2 cases with the same one. Let me make sure they're not of the same court. Yeah. So you've actually got 2 different new matters here for possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. One's this case that just came in here, so this is considered a pre-file matter where they're just now submitting the charges. And the other one's a direct complaint. I just haven't gone over that yet. Okay? So when I say new charge, it's not today that you got it, but it's the charge that they're bringing you in on as a new charge today, okay? But it does have a court date of May 14, 2024.
I had one in 2 days, too.
Eligible for bond,
I had one for the 20th, I thought, 24th, I thought, which is my lawyers put a motion in for, because I was in the hospital at the time of my last court date, and so that's how I ended up with this warrant. She told me I was going to have a warrant until I had to come see you.
You did, and they did file a motion. You actually had a court date set on the 24th. You know what, I'm going to have to make a change to one of your matters here that I just discovered here. It's not necessarily going to change the outcome of your case, but I do need to make some notes here.
The PS or CR?
On the PS.
For anybody wondering that's on TikTok, I have no control on how the way they set up the screen. So right now they got it kind of crappy, so that's why you can't really see anything.
Right, you know what, Mr. Searles, I'm going to recall your matter because I'm going to have to look at it again. We'll have to take off the evidence.
But if you go to YT, I got it on the full screen over there if you want to see it. I know right now you can't really see it. It looks really jacked up. But like I said,
all right, so we've got Christopher Lopez Garcia and Brittany Garza is going to be up next, and I'll recall them. I'm going to have to redo some stuff there.
Thank you for the follow, top notch 34.
All right, so your full name and date of birth?
34 and 34. What a coincidence.
Yeah, your full name and your date of birth.
June 19, 1969.
All right, thank you. So you've got a new case out of Superior Court here. The charges that were submitted today are going to be, let me take a look, see if that's correct. Yep, it is. All right, so you have 2 counts of aggravated assault. One for serious physical injury, that's a Class 3 felony. One for a use of a deadly weapon, also a Class 3 felony. 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony. 1 count of disorderly conduct, that's a Class 6 felony. 1 count of discharging a firearm within city limits, also a Class 6 felony. And finally, 1 count of possession of drugs paraphernalia, Class 6.
He's going to prison.
So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. And you do currently have a status conference set January 28th, preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. Those will take place at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. I've taken into account not only your prior history that I have reviewed here, but also the nature of the account that you're here for and the likelihood of a DOC term in light of that. You do have a bond in this matter. That's a $150,000 secured appearance bond. If you postpone and are released from custody, you're also going to be ordered not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. You're not to possess any weapons while you're on release, which is already the case for you. So that means no weapons on your person, in your home, or in your vehicle. So you are going to get that information in a moment, but do you have any questions regarding anything I just went over?
Yes, I have a house with just, everything in it, and I have nobody up here other than my son. I can't get a hold of him.
That's not something that I can help you with here today, and it's certainly not going to change your release conditions given why you're here.
Yeah, figured
Okay.
that.
But the best I can tell you is you'll have access to the phones in the back, but I can't assist you with getting in touch with anyone.
Yeah, they never gave me my phone numbers. I don't have no absolute.
I'm unable to assist you with that. All right? If you want to step over, though, you can
So
go and
that's
pick up that
remanded to
paperwork.
custody? I'm remanded to custody?
So you are going to remain in custody. If you're unable to post the bond, then you would stay in custody, be transported to your next court date. Okay?
Next.
All right, so we do have Brittany Garza up after that, and then Thomas Williams.
Where you at? Where you at?
How you doing, Honor?
Damn, she looks
And then
young.
your full name and date of birth?
042804.
Did you say 428 of 04?
042804.
And your full name?
Brittany Marie Garza.
All right, so ma'am, you do have 5 separate cases here today that we need to review. So in your matter, I'm going to start with the cases here in Maricopa County because you've got some out-of-county cases too. So for your Maricopa County cases, we'll go ahead and start with the new charges that just came in. So this will be out of Superior Court. And in that matter, the charges are 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of unlawful discharge of a firearm, a Class 6 felony. That has a date of offense of January 1 of 2025. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a status conference set January 28 and a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, again, based on your history as well as the nature of the offense that you're here for, you do have a bond, and yours is a $150,000 secured appearance bond. If you postpone and are released from custody, you're also going to have orders here that you not return to the scene of the offense, have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. You're not to possess any weapons while on release, which was already the case for you. But that does mean you can't have any weapons on your person or in your vehicle or in your residence. So nowhere where you can have access to those weapons.
How much was her bail?
Your next case that we have here then is going to be your probation matters. And we've got 2 of those on the calendar today. They're both here today because petitions to revoke were filed in each one of them. So in each one of those, the petition to revoke alleges a violation of terms 1, 3, and 5 of your probation terms. The public defender's been appointed there as well, and your revocation arraignment hearing will be on January 29 at 8:30. That will still be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in each of those warrants has been affirmed. So there's a $750 bond and a $250 bond, both secured appearance bonds. Your last 2 matters that we have here, these are the out-of-county warrants, and I believe both of these are out of La Paz. They're going to be out of the Parker Justice Court for each of them. So in each of those matters, let me see if it's the same court date. In each of those 2 cases, you're going to have an arraignment hearing there on January 27 at 8:30. Again, that'll be at the Parker Justice Court that you have those at currently. And the bond in each of those warrants has been affirmed. So one of them does appear to be an open case that's out of there. That's a $2,000 cash-only appearance bond. The other one is a post-adjudication case. It's a failure to comply case. That one is a $2,280 secured appearance bond, okay? I know this was a lot of information because you've got kind of a few things going on here. You will receive individual paperwork for each case, so you'll have all this information in it that you can take a look at, but do you have any questions regarding anything I just went through?
If I'm still in here, like, would I get transportation for the other courts?
You mean like for Parker or just for other courts within?
Just for all of them in general.
All right, so for the out-of-county cases, it is entirely possible your court date there could get moved, okay? Because you've got some local cases here, they might end up changing that, okay? Because they might hold you in custody in Maricopa until at least those are done, or until there's a time when they can extradite you out there in order to attend your court dates out in Parker.
Okay.
Okay, so that court date could change. That's a little different than other cases. In Maricopa County, when you have cases here, they can usually do that, but you'd have to be in custody for those cases.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't know if you've got other justice court cases or other ones out there. If you're not in custody on those, then they wouldn't know to transport you. So that's an issue to talk to your attorney about.
Okay,
If
thank
you
you
do
so
have
much.
them, I'm not aware of any, but if you do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? All right, thank you. All right, so we have Thomas Williams, and then Ethan McElroy will be up next.
Hey, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. It's free 99. Doesn't cost you anything. Also hit them hearts. Let's get to we got to 10,000. Let's get to 20,000.
Thomas Williams.
Tap, tap, tap.
0121 1998.
All right, thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging 2 counts of aggravated assault involving a deadly weapon. That's a class 3 felony. They have it as a 2 in here. 2 counts of disorderly conduct, class 6 felony, and 2 counts of threatening, intimidating. That's a class 1 misdemeanor. So in this matter, the public defender's office has been appointed to represent you. You do currently have a status conference set on January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30, and those will be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, based primarily on the nature of the charge that you're here for, because you have a fairly limited criminal history, you do have a bond that is a $10,000 secured appearance bond. So if you do postpone and are released from custody, you also have the orders that you are not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. You are not to possess any weapons whatsoever, so that would mean on your person, in your vehicle, in your residence. You can't have those weapons anywhere that you have access to. You're going to get that information as well in your paperwork. Would you have any questions regarding it?
Have evidence that proves my innocence. I just want to know
You can
whether or
certainly
not.
speak with your attorney about that.
Okay,
You have
okay.
appointed counsel
I
to
just wanted to know
represent
that. Thank you.
All right.
I like that, Erica. Thank
Step
you.
over. We've got Mr. McElroy and Greene and Lewis will be up next.
Like Erica said, if
Alright,
you're
sir,
not
your full name
tapping,
and
you're
date of
not
birth.
being.
Keith Armand McElroy, 12/03/1982.
Thank you, sir. So you've got 2 separate cases here today. The first one that we have is the new matter that just came in, so there will be new charges out of Superior Court. Okay, that's going to be 2 counts of possession of narcotic drugs, class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a class 4 felony. So in that matter, public defender's been appointed. The court dates are a status conference. It's going to be on January 28, preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. Those are at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, because you are also here on a probation case, as well as the nature of the offense that you're here for, you do have a bond in this matter. That's a $5,000 secured appearance bond. When I say nature of offense, it's primarily the weapons charge.
Thank you, Snow.
That becomes the serious one here. So the other matter that you have here is going to be that probation case, and it's been added to the calendar for a term 1 violation. So it's the new offense. Okay, that's what triggers a term 1.
It's a new, I don't.
You were just brought in here on these new charges, so that's triggered a term 1.
Mm-hmm.
So for your probation, so you now have probation violation proceedings as well.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So even if I bonded out, I wouldn't be able to bond out.
Yeah, you're going to be bondable in this.
So
I'm going to let you know. Let me go through everything and I'll let you know, okay? So you've got a public defender appointed there as well, revocation arraignment hearing January 29 at 8:30. Now that matter has a $500 bond, so it's $5,500 for both matters. So you are bondable, and they're both secured, so you can use a bail bonding company in order to post those. If you do post bond and you are released from custody, you're still on probation. I believe you were in contact with probation.
Yes.
So you do still need to comply with those terms, and that includes contacting probation within 72 hours.
So 5,500 is my bond?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, that's for both.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Let
Did
me
he
go
say
ahead
yes,
and have
sir?
you step over. You can have that paperwork there and have a seat at this time. We've got Ms. Lewis.
Hey, guys.
And after that.
Remember, if you're not tapping,
There's,
you're not being.
Howard up
What's
after
up? Hook it up.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Tap, tap, tap.
All right. We'll
Too
move
fast.
him down. So after that, it'll be Ms.
This judge is on a roll.
Go
Yeah,
then.
that's right, Janet.
All right. Ms. Lewis, if you could state your full name and date of birth, ma'am.
Adrienne Lewis.
Oh, it's so tired. So tired.
1987.
Thank you. So you do have 4 separate cases here today.
4.
4 separate cases?
Right, so 3 of them are
Busy.
your probation matters, and the other one is going to be the new case that just came in. Okay, so this is for new charges that have been submitted to Superior Court. It's for 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. So in that matter, the public defender has been appointed to represent you. You have a status conference set January 28th with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30, and those are going to be at the Superior Court located in
It's all
downtown
good.
Phoenix. In this matter, you do have a bond that's a $50 placeholder bond. I'm primarily putting a bond in this case because you are going to have bonds in your probation cases. So I'm doing a bond in this one so that they know you're in custody in all matters. That doesn't ensure you get
Okay, because
transported to your
I'm
court
in
dates. Let
full-time
me finish
school.
talking first, and I'll
Sorry.
give you a chance. That means you will get transported to all your court dates. That could also impact your credit for time served down the road. So your 3 other matters are those probation cases. All of your probation matters have been added to the calendar for a Term 1 violation. So in each of the probation cases, the public defender has been appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set on January 29, and in each of those cases, there's a $250 secured appearance bond. So it's $800 total for all 4 matters. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you are still on supervised probation, so you do still need to abide by those terms, including contacting probation within 72 hours of your release. Did you have a question regarding that?
No, I was just gonna say I'm in school full time, so it's like I don't
I've
know
got
how I'm
time.
gonna contact school. Like, I'm gonna lose my scholarship.
So
I'm
complicated.
unable to assist you with that. I'm sorry you put yourself in that position here today. You'll have access to phones in the back, but that's the best I can tell you here in the
Okay.
courtroom. All right? You want to step over? You can go and pick up that paperwork there.
Where's there a bed around here? I'm sleepy.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Damn, I wouldn't be yawning and
All
doing all
right,
of
so
that.
that was
That's doing the most right
Richard
there.
Howard? Okay. Or no?
All right. What do you guys think this gentleman did right here? I wish I could
All right, sir, go
watch
and state your full
California.
name and
Yeah,
date
me
of
too.
Jared Howard, 12/4/1985.
All right, there we go, Mr.
Gotta take
Okay.
out the lagañas out of my
All right,
eyes.
so you are here for 2 separate cases today. The first one that I have here is going to be for a probation violation warrant that was issued. And this is for a petition to revoke that was filed back in November. It alleges a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation term. So the public defender has been appointed to represent you. You currently have a revocation arraignment hearing set on January 29 at 8:30. And then in this matter, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed. That's a $150 secured appearance bond. So your next case that you have here is the new case you were just brought in on. So this is for a new charge in Superior Court. It's for 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree. It's a Class 6 felony. In that matter, the public defender has been appointed as well. And your court dates there are a status conference January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this case, you do have a $100 secured appearance bond. So it's $250 total for both matters here today. If you post bond and are released from custody, you're also going to be ordered that you cannot return to the scene of this offense. It looks like you've already been back there a couple times. You can't go back there to that location. You've been trespassed. There's no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and since you're still on supervised probation, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours of your release from this facility, and their phone number will be included in your paperwork if you still need that, okay? Any questions regarding either case?
I just gotta say, as far as the warrants and stuff, there should never been no warrants. I never missed my court dates or anything.
It's not a court date warrant. It's a violation of your probation. They're saying you didn't comply with probation.
My court got switched over to the other court. I told the lady I was still at court over here. She told me she knows what she was doing, and it was never no warrant. I've been going to court the whole time. There's never no warrants out for me.
And this warrant here has nothing to do with court attendance. It's not a court attendance warrant. It's a violation of probation terms. So they're saying you were sentenced to probation in your other case that you have, and that you didn't comply with probation.
I never missed probation though.
You can talk to your attorney about that. I'll let you know that the allegations, I'll actually read them to you. The allegations that were provided to us in the warrant
because my family brought the documents, the renter's deeds.
Were that you failed to report as directed, and they list a number of dates here. Looks like the last reported date that they show is September 17, and that whereabouts unknown since September 19. So it's primarily a failure to report. All right, and again, that's an issue you can certainly speak with your attorney about since you have been appointed an attorney to represent you. Okay? All right, if you want to step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork there.
You know, I find it kind of hilarious that everybody that comes in,
Ms. Golan,
they didn't ever miss
then
no
after
court
that, we'll have
dates.
Mr. Moore.
They didn't violate parole. They did nothing wrong. Like, wake up, people. Obviously, you did something wrong because you're in court.
And
Hey,
then
thank
full
you,
name
Snow,
and
for
date of
sharing.
birth?
Marquisha Michelle Govan, 070591.
All
Thank
right,
you for
thank
sharing,
you. So you've
Snow.
got two separate cases here today. They are both probation violation warrants that were issued. In each of your probation matters, there was a petition to revoke filed that alleges a violation of terms 3 and 4 of your probation term. So the public defender has been appointed to represent you in both cases, and that revocation arraignment hearing is set January 29 at 8:30 a.m. That'll take place at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in each warrant's been affirmed. Each of those has a $100 secured appearance bond, so it's $200 total for both matters. Now, if you postpone and are released from custody, you are still on supervised probation, so you do still need to abide by the terms. That does include contacting probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding either of those two matters? All right, if you want to step over, we'll get your paperwork over to you shortly.
Next.
Give me 1 second before we bring in Mr. Moore, because we had his page 2s added, so I just need to make sure I go through those real quick.
Oh, I get a moment to talk. Hey, if you're not tapping, you must be napping. Anyhow, hey, if you guys got anybody that you want to share this with, loved ones, people you don't love, send it on through. You know, help us out. Help us to, grow. We're trying to get to that 20,000 mark on TT. On YT, we're trying to hit that 50K, or not 50K, 5K. I'll be happy with 5K right now. We got to do small steps here, small increments, if you will. And then Snow Rice, you can see it better on YT. Same name as here. Yeah, that's right here. Gracias. Highly appreciated. Snow, man, a huge help. It's a thankless job, but I do appreciate you. Let me see, KC family. She was in here a little while ago. I think she was. She might have snuck out. Fast in, fast out. That's right. Bless one. And I know a lot of you guys are new here. Really appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Let me see. Hey, the mobile. Thank you. The mobile mechanic, semi-mechanic. Gracias. Highly appreciate you sharing the live. That really helps out. Helps us bring in more potential viewers, and it helps out with the chat and whatnot. In the comments. Hey, Tita, gracias. Un chico de gracias. Highly appreciate it. All right, let me see. Janet, thank you. Let me see. I'm new. I'm not new. James, I've been here a month already. That's right, Tabitha. I'm just saying, now there's a lot of new people in here. Appreciate you guys. The ones that have been here, for the last year and a half, and the people that have been here as of today. Hey, everybody counts. Let me see. I've been watching for 3 days. That's right. Michaela, hell yeah. Let me see. Bingo's mom writes, I will find and follow you on TT too. Yeah, it's the same thing. Just hit up at collect call from, boom, and I'll pop up. Let me see right here. So, who do you guys think is gonna be up next? What kind of case? You know what? We really haven't seen any DV cases here today. Maybe we'll see some tonight and this evening at Pima County. Let me see. KC's in here. That's right. Represent. And then I'm House of Fur and Feathers on TT. Hell yeah. I like that. It's kind of unique. Let me see right here. Just sent a gift. Hey, gracias. Highly appreciate that. Snuck in on me. Oh, you sent a high bear. Lovely. All right. Let me see over here. Laura in Michigan, I get up and speed clean before 9 a.m. when you start. Hey, thank you for that, Abby in Los Angeles.
All right, so we are ready to go with Mr. Moore. Thank you for waiting patiently. After that, it'll be
They are in
David
jail.
Yoakum.
Yes, they are in jail. Or they're in the process. They're in the last step before going to
All
jail.
right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Jamari William Moore, 0714, 2004.
Thank you, sir. So you've got 4 separate cases on the calendar now. So the first one that we have is the new matter you just came in on. So it's for a new case out of Superior Court. The charge is 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. So in that case, a public defender has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. And those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Now, because you do have 3 separate probation cases here, all that had probation violation warrants issued, you're going to have bonds in those cases. So what I've done here is I did set a $50 secured appearance bond. That's a placeholder bond. I'm doing it so that they know you're in custody in this matter as well, okay? So your other 3 matters that we have here are going to be the probation cases, and the reason they're on the calendar is because petitions to revoke were filed in each of those matters, and that's alleging a violation of terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation terms. So in each of those cases, the public defender's been appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set on January 29 at 8:30, and then in each of those matters, The warrants have been affirmed, or the bonds in the warrants have been affirmed. The first one is a $1,000 secured appearance bond, and the next two are both $50 secured appearance bonds. So I think that's $1,150 for all four matters, if my math is correct. So in this case, if you do end up posting bond and you are released from custody, since you're on IPS for that level of supervision, you do need to contact probation within 24 hours of your release, all right? Any questions regarding any of those? I think we're still printing out some of your paperwork since they were late as. If you want to go ahead and have a seat, we'll get those out to you. Thank you, sir. All right, David Yoakum and Justin Pilfold will be up next.
You know what, I will say this, you know, getting false violations on probation, it happens. I'm sure it does.
All right, sir. If you could take your hood off and just say your full name and date of birth.
David Yoakum, 12/17/78.
Thank you, sir. So you are here for a probation violation warrant that was issued. In your case, it's for a petition to revoke that was filed last month, back in December. It alleges a violation of terms 3 and 5 of your probation term. So the public defender has been appointed to represent you.
Okay.
You have a revocation arraignment hearing January 29 at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
Okay.
And in this matter, the bond and the warrant's been affirmed. This is a $500 secured appearance bond.
Okay.
If you post bond and are released from custody, you are still on supervised probation. You do still need to contact probation within 72 hours.
Okay.
All right, any questions for me at this time?
Yeah, I spoke to a probation supervisor, came to my house like a week ago and knocked, and I talked to him, and he called my probation officer with his phone, and we talked, all three talked right there, and he scheduled me to come see him on the 22nd between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And so I don't know why it was out of warrant.
Well, you're in violation, sir.
I was supposed to see him on the 22nd today, so everything was fine. We all three left that gathering.
When were you
right there.
arrested? What time was that? It was
night.
last night. You
Yeah,
were arrested
last
last night?
Yeah, and so I was supposed
Let me look at your notes, and
Okay.
I'll see if there's notes in
Sure.
there on it. Because it doesn't get rid of the warrant. When they do that, they're just saying, come in and talk to us. They
Okay.
might still arrest you on the warrant, or they
Okay.
might end up moving to quash the warrant.
Okay.
But it doesn't get rid of the warrant when they do that, okay?
Right, okay.
But I'll look at your probation notes here real fast, as long as I have
Okay,
any
yeah,
more.
'cause they didn't say nothing to me, the supervisor and the call to my officer, so.
Red rum cases.
I don't have my glasses on, sir.
Bond that she just told you about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that violation.
All right.
All right, his stuff is probably going to change, so I
Okay.
wouldn't give him paperwork quite yet.
Didn't hear that, sorry.
Give me that. Yoink. Yoink. All right. Let's see what's going to happen. Don't fall asleep, buddy. Don't fall asleep. I know a lot of people tend to fall asleep up there. I wonder if they have little beds right there, like little boats, like the ones they have in county when you're in overflow and they got nowhere for you to sleep. Do they have boats right there, like in the waiting area, where you could just like knock out, or is everybody just like grabbing rolls of toilet paper and just laying down on the floor and taking it down? I don't know. Anybody
All right.
here ever been to
So it looks
Arizona?
like you did have a conversation with probation. I guess I'll never know whether you were going to go in today or not, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt today, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So I'll go ahead and release you on this here today.
Okay,
So you
thank
can
you.
appear there since you did have
Thank
that
you, ma'am.
contact. I will let you know. If you fail to appear at your next court date or
Oh,
otherwise
yeah,
don't comply, you won't get a second chance.
Yeah,
okay? They'll hold you
absolutely,
next
absolutely
time.
understand.
Okay? All right, hold on one second. That's not going to change your court date. It's still going to be on January 29 at 8:30.
Okay.
But in this case, you are going to be released, but it is still subject to the supervision of your probation officer. You do need to contact probation within
Absolutely.
72 hours.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, if you want to go ahead and have a seat, we'll go ahead and have to reprint out your paperwork, but we'll get that out to you in a moment.
Okay, about when are they gonna release me?
It takes several hours.
Okay.
Okay, be
but-
patient with the process. They'll let you
Absolutely,
know.
I just wanna make sure so I can call my brother for a ride.
Yep, they'll be able to let you know kind of a time frame.
All right, thank
But
you.
hey,
All right,
guess
so
what?
we've got Justin Pilfold and then Michael Alexander up after that.
He's gonna get violated because he had an appointment with his probation officer at 2:00 today, and he's late, 30 minutes already. So they might not let him out. I wouldn't be surprised if his probation officer is waiting
All right, so your
outside the
phone
door to
and date of
violate him.
birth?
Justin Pilfold, 2988.
All right, so you are here for 3 separate cases. I'll go ahead and start with your Superior Court cases. So these are going to be for a new matter in Superior Court, as well as a probation violation warrant that was previously issued back in September. So I'll go ahead and start with the new case that just came in. And the charges there are going to be 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, that's a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 2 counts of shoplifting, both Class 1 misdemeanors. So in that matter, public defender has been appointed, and you have a status conference set January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30 at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In that case, you do have a placeholder bond in the amount of $50. That bond is being set because you do have a bond in your probation case, so I want to make sure they know you're in custody in all the matters that you're here for. So your next case is that probation case, and it's here because a petition to revoke was filed alleging a violation of terms 3, 4, 5, 7, and 13 of your probation terms. So in that matter, public defender is appointed as well. Revocation arraignment hearing is set on January 29 at 8:30. And in that case, there is a $250 secured appearance bond. If you do postpone and are released from custody in these matters, you are still on supervised probation, so you do still need to contact probation within 72 hours. Now, your next case that we have here is a warrant that was issued out of the Arrowhead Justice Court. This is a failure to appear warrant out of that court. So they've set an arraignment hearing January 24 at 8:30 a.m. And in that matter,
That's what I'm talking about,
I
Nez.
did reduce the bond down to a $50 bond. I think it started at $850, but it looks like it's the first warrant issued, okay? So I am going to go ahead and reduce that down to a $50 bond, but I still need to put something in place. So again, they know you're in custody in that if you don't post those. So because I did set a bond in that matter, I did also appoint counsel to represent you through the public defender's office for that issue. It's required by Rule 6.1 of the Arizona Rules of Criminal Procedure. You'll get 3 sets of paperwork for each individual case, so you'll get all that information. But do you have any questions regarding any of it? All right, sir, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and
Next.
have a seat at this time. Looks like we are to Michael Alexander.
All right, for anybody wondering, this is live. This is court in Maricopa County, Arizona.
All right, sir, your
Hello.
full name and date of birth.
Michael Dean Alexander Jr., July 22nd, 1980.
All right, thank you, sir. So you're here for a new case out of Superior Court. What this is they've added additional charges. I know you were in here the other day and got some bonds at that time. So this is for 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree. Those are actually both Class 4 felonies. They have them in here as 3s, which isn't correct. So those are both Class 4 felonies. The public defender's been appointed. You do have a status conference set January 28, preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Since you're already in on those other bonds that you came in on just a couple days ago, what I'm going to do here is just do that $50 bond in this case, okay? So that's just so that they know you're in custody on these charges as well, all right? Do you have any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, we'll get your paperwork here in a moment. You can have a seat at this time, though. All right, Daniel, Murillo, Rodriguez, and then Rebecca DeLeese will be up
Hey,
next.
he looks like a character out of The Walking Dead.
All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Edgar.
Daniel Murillo Rodriguez, February 23rd, 2006.
All right, thank you, sir. So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. The charge is 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, a Class 5 felony, 1 count of reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The public defender's office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on February 6th and a preliminary hearing February 10, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court that is located in downtown Phoenix. I do show that you have no other prior criminal history, but given the nature of the charge, I believe a little additional supervision is appropriate. So in this case, you are being released, but it is going to be subject to the supervision of pretrial services. So before you go, you're going to receive some additional information, and that they give you a packet of paperwork about it. So that's going to include their contact information, because you do have to stay checked in with them while on release. So just make sure you take a look at that and follow those guidelines, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to step over, it looks like your paperwork is set to go, so you can have a seat at this time. Rebecca DeLeese, and then we've got
YT is behind.
Andres
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Centino up next. Hi, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Let me guess.
6788. All right,
Reading
thank you.
too
So you
fast
are
in the
here
library.
for 2 separate cases. The first one's a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The public defender has been appointed. You have a status conference set on February 6th with a preliminary hearing February 10, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did take a look at your probation notes, since it does look like you are still currently on probation. Looks like you just completed the detox there. You were actually making some positive steps in probation. Obviously, this is a setback, since it's going to cause you to have a probation violation warrant. But in light of the fact that you were making those steps, you were keeping in contact with probation, what I'm going to do here is you are being released today, but it is going to be subject to the supervision of your probation officer. Okay.
What you thought about Willis? All right. The audio went out. Might be frozen. Yeah, it's buffering over here. So as soon as it comes back on, then I'll stop talking. But hey, she seems like she might still be a little bit under the influence because she's like speed talking.
Within 72 hours, you do need to contact probation and stay checked in with them, and otherwise comply with the rest of your terms.
Okay.
Okay, the next case that we have is that probation case because it was added for a term 1 violation. Okay. So public defender is appointed there as well. Revocation arraignment hearing set January 29 at 8:30, and the same release conditions apply there as well. You are being released, but it is subject to the supervision of probation.
Thank you.
Any questions regarding either one?
No, miss.
All right, if you want to step over, you want to pick up that paperwork and have a seat. Mr. Cabezos, and then Tariq Al-Bajur, and I apologize.
She's getting released,
yeah. All right, sir, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Andres Cavazos Centeno, January 6, 2003.
Sir, you are here for a new case out of the White Tank Justice Court. It is alleging 1 count of reckless driving, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor. You're not entitled to court-appointed counsel in this matter due to the nature of the charge, since this is a misdemeanor offense that does not otherwise qualify, but you do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you in this case. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing, February 11 at 9:30 a.m. That'll be at the White Tank Justice Court. You are being released on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. But I will let you know you are not permitted to drive a motor vehicle until further court order. Even if your license is still intact, you are not permitted to drive a motor vehicle under this release order. If you do end up driving a motor vehicle and are pulled over and it is discovered, you would be in violation of your release conditions in this case. Do you have any questions regarding that?
For how long can I not?
Further court order is what I have in here. Okay, that's an issue you're going to have to address with the White Tank Justice Court, who's handling your case.
And then I have another question. My judge will see this, right? All right, never mind. I'll let this go. All right. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, so...
hey, what do you do? I missed it. Sorry, my attention span something's short.
And
I'm guessing it was something
Jimmy
bad.
Woods up next. All right, sir, go and state your full name and date of birth.
My name is Tariq Abdeljada, but my date of birth is 3rd of April, 2005.
All right, thank you, and I apologize. I know I mispronounced your last name.
Come again?
All right, so you were here for a warrant that was issued out of the El Centro Justice Court. That's in their case TR 2024-143050. So in that matter, an arraignment hearing is set on February 6th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be at the El Centro Justice Court. You're going to get the address in your paperwork. This is the first warrant that was issued in this matter, and I recognize it is a traffic offense, so I'm willing to give you a second shot to appear at that next court date on your own. So I am going to release you today to appear. It's going to be on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear, okay? I'll just warn you, if you fail to appear on February 6th, that it's likely another warrant's going to issue on that date, and that you're not likely going to have the same opportunity again, okay? So just make sure you appear there. Do you have any questions regarding that?
Yes. So actually, when I had this citation, I was issued a court date, and I showed up to the court. So I don't know why is there arrest warrant for today.
Yeah, this is out of a separate court. They're the ones that issued the warrant, and I did look. They did indicate that this was a failure to appear warrant that was in there. So that's what they're showing, that you didn't show up for a court date, and it was issued on November 8th. So that would be around the time that the hearing was. It might even have been actually on November 8th. Again, because it was your first warrant, I'm going to release you today. So you're not being held in custody on it. You don't have to post a bond today. But as far as that goes, you're going to have to address that with the court who's handling your case.
Yeah, okay, but...
Okay?
Yes, but I have a question.
Go ahead.
As I said, I showed up to the first court, so... And, does it show in the system that I didn't show up to that first court?
It probably is the first one.
Next, come on.
Or actually, I guess I don't know whether it is.
Taking up our time over here. Bro, shut up. Laughing out loud. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe this...
It shows that you showed up to one date in September, that you showed up there, pled not guilty, and a pretrial conference was set in November, so that's when this hearing would have been, and then you failed to appear at that hearing. That's the hearing when they issued the warrant. So it shows that you appeared at one court date, but not the next one.
And I also want to ask, do you have access to how did they send me the information for the next court date?
Yep, I don't have that. You'll have to talk to that court. This is a completely separate court from here.
Okay, so I have to talk to them.
Yep, you got to talk to the Justice Court.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
How do you say, get the hell out of here?
All right, so Jimmy
Next.
Woods and then Jordan LaFoon will be up next.
Where you at? Where you at?
All right, sir, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Jimmy Dion Woods, 09-07-05.
Thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of the West MacDougall Justice Court. The charge here is one count of failing to admit to carrying a weapon, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Now, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel given the nature of the charge. It is a misdemeanor offense that does not otherwise qualify. However, you do have the right to retain an attorney to represent you in this matter. So you have an arraignment hearing set February 11 at 1:30 p.m. That's going to be at the West MacDougall Justice Court. And the address for that court will be included in your paperwork.
Thank you.
In this matter, I am going to be releasing you on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. So you need to make sure you appear at that February 11 court date, or a warrant could issue at that time. Do you have any questions regarding that?
Where can I get my truck back, and am I able to drive?
So if they took your truck, if they took custody of your truck, you need to call the arresting agency.
All right.
Okay, so whatever agency it was that took care of your arrest, you need to call them on their non-emergency line, and you can inquire as to what happened with it, because it might have been taken to a tow yard or something like that, but you'd have to talk to them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I good?
Yeah, you are complete in here. Thank you.
You know what I'm guessing? I'm guessing
All right, so
that
we've got Jordan LaFoon, and then Gerardo Ortiz will be up after that.
I'm guessing that the prison or the jail's booked right now, so they're probably like they're relaxing, and taking everybody into custody.
All right, sir, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Jordan Duke Vanderbilt, 21693.
What? That dude looks slapped back.
All right, you are not who I have in front of me here. What's your name again?
Jordan Duke Vanderbilt, 21693.
Let me snap.
Okay, so I don't show this as Mr. LaFoon. Is that correct?
I'm so tired. Gooseneck.
I'm sorry, did you say Lafeno?
Yeah, or LaFoon. Jordan LaFoon.
He's gone like the wind. Well, really, these are very small offenses. The gun one, you think that one's a small one? I don't know. He made some rugs in jail. Oh man. He definitely was not there. Yup, from the looks of it. He needs to come back like in a week after.
And if we don't have LaFoon back there, oh, we do. Okay.
All right, here comes up the next winner. Winner,
All right,
chicken
sir, go and
dinner.
state your full name and date of birth.
Jordan James LaFoon, 10/29/1984.
Thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of Superior Court, and this is going to be alleging 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, 1 count of prostitution, Class 1 misdemeanor. In this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. Your court dates at this time are a status conference February 6th and a preliminary hearing February 10, both at 8:30.
Did I hear
That's going to be at the
prostitution?
Superior Court located in downtown
No.
Phoenix. So in this matter, you are being released today on your own recognizance. It is going to be your promise to appear. So it looks like you might have a Phoenix case as well. I don't know if you've seen them yet. Are you set to see the Phoenix court still?
Damn, times are rough out there.
Warrant, I believe.
Yeah. Is he set for Phoenix at 4?
Man.
Yeah, okay. So that's a completely
Oh, boy.
separate court. It's going to be next door to here. I'm releasing you in this matter. I don't know what they're going to do in that case. So that's a completely separate thing. So I just want to kind of give you a heads up so you're aware that you still have another one to take care of, okay?
Sure.
All right. Any questions regarding this matter, though?
No, I'll be here in February.
On
All right.
the corner,
Yep, you'll get those court
on
dates in
the
your
track.
paperwork. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Vanessa, thank you for the follow.
All right, so now we've got Gerardo Ortiz. I show he is, or no, we've got to go back to our other matter that we have here.
Hey,
I
just
still
when
need
you
to do
think you
Mr.
see,
Paroles.
you seen it all, man, life throws you a curveball over here. I don't know what kind of money or who would be paying for those services, but man, they must be like hard timing it, and he must be hard timing it. That's like literally scraping the bottom of
I said
the
Mr.
barrel
yeah,
right there.
him. Mr. Ortiz can come in. I was saying Mr. Paroles still needs to be seen. I started seeing him, but had to have him go back there because I had to do a couple things on his. All right, sir, go and state your full name and date of birth.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Gerardo Ortiz, Jr. Ernest.
Your date of birth.
My date of birth is 11/03/2000.
All right, thank you, sir. So you
25.
are here for 2 separate cases. Let me see.
Welcome back, Cindy. You just missed a good one. Damn, man. Hey, that's like, whoo, man. Imagine you pull up, you're driving, you see that dude in the street corner. I don't know if he dresses like that when he's doing the damn thing, but man,
All right.
driving
Are you
away.
currently in probation proceedings? Do you already have a petition to revoke that's pending in probation?
Yes,
thought you
I have
did.
a court tomorrow, the 23rd.
Did you post a bond in that matter?
Yes, I did.
All right, hold up. You got court tomorrow. You might not be making it,
Yes,
buddy.
and I was supposed to be attending my court tomorrow at 8:30.
8:30. I don't know.
You'll still have that date. Okay.
Dang, new charges on bond. Oof. Hey, when you're living that life,
There shouldn't be a term limit.
the sky's the
I'm
limit.
gonna change this to a no action, the probation matter. Just the probation matter, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's been releasing them all, so we'll see right now. We'll see what it is.
All right, what happened is they added your probation case as a term 1 violation as well, but because you're already in probation proceedings, I'm not going to touch that at this time. So it's entirely possible they'll add a term 1 to the existing violations that you have that are already being addressed, but I'm not going to address that here today, okay? That'll be something before the probation court, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so the case that I have you here for that we will address, though, is going to be for the new case out of Superior Court, which is for 1 count of aggravated DUI Class 4 felony. So in that matter, the public defender has been appointed. You have a status conference set February 6th with a preliminary hearing February 10th, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So what I'm going to do here is, because you're already on release in the probation case with the court date that's set in this matter, and you did post a bond in that case, I'm going to release you in this matter at this time. You are going to be released on your own recognizance, but you are still subject to the supervision of your probation officer. So within 72 hours of your release from here, you do need to contact probation to check in with them, okay? So same release conditions that you had with your probation case as well. All right, do you have any questions regarding this matter?
No, Your Honor. I do have court tomorrow at 8:30, so just attend there and let my
You
attorney
said it
know.
3 times already, bro.
Let
Let's
them know
go.
about this case that just came in,
Okay.
so that they're aware of it as well, because that could impact how they want to proceed with you tomorrow, okay? How they advise you to go.
Hey, what's up,
All right,
Vicky
I'm going to
Marie?
go ahead and change this other matter to a no action. It's just going to take us a second to do that, so we'll need his probation paperwork back here. All right, so if you want to go ahead and step over, you can go ahead have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Shh. Did he say 3 or 4 times? Man, that judge has a lot of patience. I'm very patient, but that I would have lost it already at that point. No, don't bring up a new case. Hey, flying on the wall. Thank you for the follow. Happy EBD. He's asking too many questions. 3, yeah, he asked 3 times. I'm telling you. Man, the judge is over there typing all upset now. Like, man, I got to deal with these freaking morons. Is that it? Is any more? I don't know. Anyhow, hey, so if anybody's wondering if I finished my sink and my my faucet yet, no, I'm barely on step 1. I ran into a wrench. So let me see. For those of you that are wondering if I'm going to be doing some more cases, I think another one starts at 5. Is it 5? I think it's 5 or 4. You know what? Let me double check so like that I know for sure. I'll be getting my times mixed up over here. Let me see. Where
Okay,
is
Katrina, I did finally enter that no action one.
let me see here. Give me a moment. I think it's 4. I want to go. I want to say there'll be one at 4 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock is Tucson. For sure, we'll be doing Tucson today. The 4 o'clock one, I'm not sure yet, which would be in about 2 hours. Can you do Las Vegas? In Las Vegas, I don't think they live stream cases in Las Vegas. But I don't know if anybody has any courts that are live stream. Send me a link, send me a DM, and I'll research it and we'll see what it is. I'm more than open to stream other courts and stuff. This is just the Arizona seems really easy to check. I know somebody sent me one from Florida yesterday. I clicked on the link, but I didn't see anything. Which court is this? This is Maricopa County in Arizona. K. Larson, Indio. Let me see. Do they do Kansas City? I don't know. I'm not sure. But if you know, send me the link and I'll go ahead and definitely check it out. You're going to get us canceled if you don't get that sync done. Hell yeah, you're right. You're right. My wife just took off and she went to pick up the baby. But right now, as soon as this stream, I cut it, you better believe I'm going to be over there jackhammering that damn sync right now. Be getting it done. Let me see. Did you say Tucson, Arizona? No. Tucson, Arizona is going to be at 6. This is Maricopa County in Arizona. Does Iowa have them? The only thing that I know Iowa has for sure I can confirm would be the Board of Parole hearings. Those I do. Texas does children's services cases live. What? What? You know what Texas does? We got Judge Boyd, Judge Fletcher, and there's another judge. They're all over YouTube. Kansas City would be fun on Monday after the Chiefs game on Sunday. What? That's interesting. I'm gonna check it out. Do the do. That's right, Jessica. Let me see.
Okay,
here.
we can go ahead and
Central Time. No, when I talk about times, I'm talking about Pacific Standard Time, so California time. Thank you for confirming that right there. Let me see. Eastern.
All right, Mr. Trump, we're going to go ahead and go through your matters here again, sir. If you could state your full name and your date of birth.
Jeffrey Sorrells, 2/17/81.
All right, thank you.
17.
All right,
Oh, shit,
so
his birthday's coming up.
we still have 4 matters here that we do need to review. I know we started on the one. I'm just going to start over going through it, okay? All right, so we'll start with what I call the new case, but it's not for anything that happened today. This is for an offense that they're alleging occurred back in May, okay? So that would be May 14 of 2024 for 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. That's a Class 4 felony. So the public defender has been appointed in that matter as well. You do have a status conference set January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. What I'm going to do here for these 2 new cases that we have, as well as your open felony case, since your attorney did call in on those, I'm going to reduce all of these down to $50 bonds, but you're still going to have a bond in your probation case. Okay, because you failed to appear in that probation matter as well. That one has a $500 bond.
I don't know what probation case, every court.
You're on supervised probation right now. It looks like you haven't been in contact with probation either, because I looked at your probation
I did
note.
72 hours, what y'all told me to do. And I explained to them that I'm turning yield. I got less than a year to leave. You know, I'm not trying to run or do anything different. I got a son that just flew in. That's why I did
I'm giving you a break here because you now have 2 new felony matters, okay? So
the weapon charge, I'm not understanding, like, what happened?
it's for something that occurred back in May 14th, okay? And I'll let you know what the weapon was because it wasn't a gun. It was some different kind of weapon. So back then they were alleging that you were found with...
I don't own knives or nothing, so I'm not understanding.
A brass knuckle folding knife.
I don't even own one.
Okay. You can talk to your attorney about that. I'm just letting you know what's been submitted here today. Okay. So in that matter, you're going to have that $50 bond that I told you about.
Yes, sir.
So you have another open felony case here, other than your bench warrant case, because a direct complaint has been filed. And in this case, it looks like this was done back in December, so back last month.
Okay.
So this direct complaint is another charge of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. And it's also a Class 4 felony. This one has a date of offense of February 29 of 2024. I don't have the details on that one, so I can't tell you anything about that case, because this one has already been filed as a direct complaint. So it's already an open case, okay? But you haven't been seen on it yet. I'm seeing you here for the first time on it.
Okay.
So you're going to have the same court dates there. That's a status conference January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. That's going to be with the public. You're going to have the public defender appointed there as well, like you do in your other cases. And I'm doing a $50 bond in that matter too, okay? Now your next case that I have here, this one's the bench warrant that you had for your other open felony. This is the drug charge that you have that's open. This is the one where your attorney filed a motion to quash it, okay? And I recognize that. And it's because of that that I'm reducing all these bonds, okay? That's why, because I understand that you recognized it.
Yes, ma'am.
So in this matter, status conference January 28, preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30, and that's going to have a $50 bond on it, okay? So the next one we have, this is your probation case.
Okay.
So this one's also here for a bench warrant that was issued for the failure to appear.
Okay.
So in this case, you have a revocation arraignment hearing January 29 at 8:30, and in this one, the bond in the warrant was affirmed. So this is a $500 bond. So that ends up being, what is that, $650 for all 4 of them. Yeah, so $650 for all 4 matters, okay? So it's the same thing if you postpone and are released from custody, you do still need to contact probation within 72 hours.
So the 500, I have to pay the whole 500 as well, right?
It's a secured appearance bond, so you are able to work with a bail bonding company. I believe that is above the threshold for where they'll work with you, but you'd have to call them to find that out. Because I think if you're only at 500, then they don't do anything because that's too low of a bond. It's too low of an amount to work with. I believe above that amount they can do it, but that's something you'll have to talk to them about.
I think so.
Okay? Any other questions regarding these matters? All right, I apologize for the confusion and having to recall you back in the courtroom, but I wanted to make sure that I had everything correct for you, so I lowered some of those bonds, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork right now. All right, so we have some
She's
house
definitely-
calls here. It looks like we have 2 of those. I'll start with Richard Howard, date of birth 1/13 of 1989. Do we know why he's a house call?
You need to be monitored by a medical for health issues.
Okay. All right, so he's here for a new case out of Superior Court. It's alleging 1 count of robbery, Class 4 felony, 1 count of shoplifting, Class 1 misdemeanor. Public defender's been appointed. Status conference at January 28 with a preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. And in that matter, he's got a $10,000 secured appearance bond with orders not to return to the scene of the offense, have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and not possess any weapons. Next case is for Justin Wilkins, date of birth 3/20 of 76. He's here for a new case out of Superior Court. It's for 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, 1 count of threatening, intimidating, Class 1 misdemeanor. Those are the counts I was able to find probable cause on. There is an additional count for refusing to be sworn as a witness that I was not able to find probable cause on. There's 2 counts of that. So in this matter, public defenders appointed, status conference at January 28, preliminary hearing January 30, both at 8:30. And in that matter, there is a $15,000 secured appearance bond with electronic monitoring and pretrial services supervision with orders not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and not possess any weapons while on release. And I think I showed that he was, or why is he a house call? Maybe I don't have notes.
He's for bizarre behavior.
Bizarre behavior, I do have that. Okay, thank you so much. All right, I show that as now everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recorder. We'll be at recess.
All right. So that's it. It's over. Hey, if you haven't done so, please, if you guys could follow my second account, I'll go ahead and type it up on the screen. I'm trying to get that one up to 1,000 subscribers just in case this one ever goes down. We got a backup, and we could go ahead and continue as of nothing. Also, if you haven't done so, check out our YouTube stream. Also, the YouTube streams you can normally see them a little bit clearer, just because they're actually on the screen opposed to how I'm doing it over here. I'm doing I got the projector, if you will. Most likely, I'll be back for sure. At 6 Pacific Standard Time, if you will. And I think that's all I got. I'm pretty sure I had some other stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about. But, man, my attention span is very short. Hey, Joshua, really appreciate that follow. Hey, we're trying to get to that 20,000 on TikTok, and we're trying to get to 5,000 on YouTube. If you're still on YouTube right now, hey, jump over to we still have that hearing from Utah going on. I think that was going to be running maybe like another 2 hours. So if you still feel like watch some more Board of Parole hearings, definitely check them out. And that's it for now. So like I said around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we're out. And hey, I appreciate all of you, every single one of you. There's just too many names to name, but you know who you are. All right. And with that, I'm out. A rato.